Ready? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Good morning. In accordance with the Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment consider applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning and that applies to the property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to survey property to create new lots. My name is Yim Chen. I will chair today's meeting, and I also would like to introduce our panel member for today. From my very far left is Ms. Nasila West, and Ms. Nellie Wolbert, and Mr. Peter Reed, and also Mr. Dylan Reed. And I also would like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of QUAY, the Anasazi, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the QUAY. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants or participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connected with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you will also mute your devices until you're called to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist status when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled, and you will only be visible during your 5-minute speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled, and you will be reinstated as attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist control during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. And how to receive a decision of the committee. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out the decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body, the TLABs, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances, to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third party to appeal a Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. And I will also read out our hearing procedure. This as follows. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Please, when you are making your submission, when an applicant is not contested, the agent or applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and take the matter into committee for decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I will comment when you're reaching your 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept the materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to committee on the application. And please note that the committee might not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee might decide to defer the application if substantially revised, so to make sure that the revised application is accurate and all those entitled to notice are informed of the changes. The individuals, debatants, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we will first ask the speakers in the hearing room, and then we will continue with people participating through WebEx. Committee member may ask questions to each speaker after they finish their presentation. When all the speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and then the application will be taken into committee for decision. And please, for today, our Deputy Secretary Treasury is Ms. Sabrina Satino. Can you tell us whether we have some minutes of meeting to have to be confirmed?
Good morning, Madam Chair and panel members. Yes, the minutes from the March 19th as well as the March 26th hearing minutes are ready for adoption.
Yes.
So if we can get a motion.
Please. Yeah, Peter, I have a motion. Second. Yeah, Ms. Wolpert. And all in favor to adopt the minutes? Okay. And do we have any deferral requests or closing files?
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't see any files to be closed this morning, nor do I see any deferral requests.
Okay, so in that case, we are ready for item number 1 then.
Through you, Madam Chair, we just need to determine if there's any conflict of interest for any of the files this morning.
Yes, for this session and from the staff? No, that we clear. So now we're ready for item number 1. Item number 1 is 492 Bloor Street West. The purpose of this application is to permit a restaurant use which occupies the basement and the ground floor of an existing 3-story mixed-use building. The existing residential dwelling, which occupy the 2nd and the 3rd floor level, will be maintained and unaltered. The committee also received a copy of survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 3 photographs of this property, and also we received comments from transportation engineering staff report.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Yes. Okay, we're ready. And just let me check. Do you guys need a presentation? There's no one opposed this application. Okay, it seems that we do not need a presentation. We have read your material, but would you like to address anything that you'd like to address the committee?
Through you, Madam Chair, he will have to introduce himself, name and address.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Elliot Rovan. I live at 180 Clinton Street, Toronto, and I'm acting as an agent for this hearing.
Yes.
For the owner.
Okay, thank you. So as you say, I said earlier, we do not require you to give us the presentation, but do you have any specific things you want to address us before?
Not really. I would have come here to address any opposition, but there isn't any. Then we feel that this application fits into the neighborhood as what already exists in the neighborhood. And we cannot comply with the parking regulation in any way.
Is it? Yeah.
But we are very close to a municipal parking lot across the street, within 50 meters.
Yes. I'm so sure this is the same situation as many establishments.
Yes, and it's it's that type of neighborhood.
Yes.
With restaurants everywhere.
Yes, I agree, yeah.
So if there's no objection, that would mean that it's going to be allowed.
So, okay, now, all right, thank you. So now we're in committee. Okay, we go move. Yes. You can take Robert? Yeah.
Just, from reading your material, is anybody occupying the main floor at the moment, or is it vacant?
It's vacant right now.
Okay, and the
It's under-
tenant upstairs, I understand, like the tenant is staying, right?
There's a residential part of upstairs.
Right, so a question here, did you consult with the tenant upstairs? Because the restaurant is probably going to be a bit, not problematic, but might be a problem for a tenant. So did you consult with the tenant?
Did the owner consult with the tenant? I'd have to ask. Yes, of course. And that's a question that I didn't ask him. So, yes, according to...
No objections, I understand, right?
No objection to what they're doing, no.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Yeah, we don't have any more questions, so now we're in discussion. Just wait. Yes, please. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's pretty minor. It's all restaurants along there. There's restaurants on the other side. This is very standard for the area. The size of the restaurant, I don't think, is really that significant. And as the proponent pointed out, it's near a lot of transit. A lot of people get there by transit or bike or walking, and there is parking nearby. So I think this is minor and easily supportable. So I move that we adopt we approve these variances.
You want to turn that into a motion, and Mr. Peter Rees second. And any other comments, or we are all in favor? All in favor. Unanimously approved. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah. The next item is 75 Mutual Street. The purpose for this application is to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by constructing a 4th-story addition and a rear 4th-story addition. This building will contain a total of 18 dwelling rooms, which are multi-tenant house. For this, we have received a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 3 photographs of the property, and also a cover letter from the agent, and a decision from OMB. We also received a comment from Metrolink, advisory comment we received from Metrolink.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Michael, are you unmuted?
I am. Can the committee hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Oh, perfect. My name is Michael Testiguz. I'm the applicant for the agent relative to 75 Mutual Street. Here to answer any questions you may have, or of course I can give a presentation.
Can you also give us your address for our record, please? Yeah.
Certainly, 3 Cardell Avenue in the city of Toronto.
Okay. Yeah. You do not have any oppositions here or registered to speak, right? So do we have any questions, or do you want a presentation?
I don't need to give a presentation. I'm just here in support of the application. So I'm happy to answer any questions the committee may have.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, we do have some questions. Just wait, yeah.
This is just more or less a question of curiosity, but I just noticed that like there's only 1 bathroom for 6 bedrooms. Is that like, does that align with the standards for rooming houses?
So there are minimum bathroom requirements. We do plan to meet those. So there are actually 5 bathrooms shown, 1 on every floor, and I believe the 4th floor has 2, and that does meet the city's requirements. Okay. We do have to add a shower into the one of the bathrooms on the 5th floor, but that will be done through the permit set. So we haven't included a variance for that.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
I have a quick question. I noticed on the plan, is there going to be like an elevator? Is that, am I reading it right?
Yes, you are reading it right. So the building will be fully accessible and kind of brought up to current code standards, so there will be an elevator.
That's great. Actually, so some of these rooms are also barrier-free, I guess, very cool. Or they just, only the elevator is barrier-free?
So yeah, certainly the elevator will provide kind of barrier-free access to every level. You can see some of the washrooms will also be barrier-free.
Oh, great. Yeah.
As well.
Oh, great. Yeah. So I think this is a very positive feature or service. I'm glad to see that. So, any other questions? Okay, we still have a question here. Yeah.
So some of the rooms, I think on 2nd floor and the 3rd floor, there are 9 by 8. So basically we're talking about 72 square feet room, which is it's a really tiny room. Like, does it comply? And probably I know the answer, but still I want to hear your thoughts. Like, does it comply in terms of sizing with city guidelines?
Certainly. So there's no guidelines or zoning rules with respect to the size of the bedrooms.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions? No. So we don't have any more questions. So we are in discussion now. We are in committee. Okay. Yeah, Peter.
Thanks, Chair. I think I mean, I know that some of the designs look a little bit meager, but I think that I think that's okay. And the variances that are before us are extremely minor. I think the height one of the 1st story is a technical thing, and then the other ones are just really reflecting the existing structure. And this is in a very urban environment. It's surrounded by high-rise buildings, and I think that this is a modest increase to the building that adds a lot of different types of units to the downtown. So I'm happy to move approval without condition.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that being so urban and so centered, it is a good thing to see that different types of housing will be available.
Yeah.
Because there are always some people need this kind, and then some other people like to have a bigger units or some, right? So I'm also in support of that. So anyone want to second that motion? Mr. Reid, second. All in favor? With no conditions, right?
No
we don't have any more, and we received the Metrolink advisory comment. Yeah.
I'm against.
Oh, all in favor?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, you dissent. Okay, sorry, Mr. Wolpert dissent. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair, it's just approval, no conditions, because it was
No,
advisory
yeah,
from
no
Metrolinx.
conditions, and
Yes.
it's 4-1, yeah. Okay, thank you. The next item number 3 is 1069 Bathurst Street. The purpose for this application is to permit a total of 1 commercial unit on the main floor and 3 residential dwelling units on the main and the second levels, and 1 unit on the second level and 1 unit on the third level. The existing staircases along the side and the rear wall, as well as the rear third floor, that will be maintained and unaltered. The committee received a survey site plan, floor plan elevations, and revised site plan, floor plans elevations, and a red line public notice from the agent, and a revised zoning notice from the agent. Two photographs of the subject property, and also a cover letter from the agent. And we also received comment from transportation engineering.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Hello?
Hello, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see my microphone come on. I'm Andrew Trotter, the agent, 81 St. Clarence Avenue, Toronto.
Yes, and it seems that we do not have any positions here. And let me check with the panel whether they would need a presentation from you.
There is a red one, so we should get that.
Oh, yes, I just finished reading that, and I was going to say that. Yeah, you have made some revisions, both on your notice and your variances, right? So can you go through that with us, please?
Well, the thing about the revisions was we worked with planning on creating the new...
Just go through exactly what has been changed first.
Oh, what's been
Just in terms of the, as it appear on the agenda, yeah.
What's being changed, and it's hard to say what's being changed because I don't really understand. It's hard to understand what the building was in the first place. The homeowners have been living there. The guy that owns the building lives with his children in the different units.
Okay. Can you see our screen? It seems
Yeah,
that.
see the screen.
Yes,
The red
yes.
one.
Item number 2. It seems to
Oh,
be
yeah.
crossed out. I just want you to confirm those things, not the reason. Please just let me.
Oh.
Yeah, let's get this clear first. So you're deleting variance number 2, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we
And-
worked with planning on that and zoning.
No, we
got that.
will discuss why our reason. Can you also tell us anything else you're going to change on the agenda, or the variances in front of us?
No, that's it. Number 2.
Only number 2, okay.
Yeah.
Deleted. All right, thank you. Now you can go ahead if you want to address, you have some issues, address us, please.
I don't think there's that much. I mean, we worked with planning, transportation's okay with it. Planning is okay with it. We changed a residential unit on the street to a commercial unit. We found the bicycle parking spaces they wanted, and I think it went quite well. The rental agreement, is all family members in the building, so no one's being affected in any way that is not part of the family. So I see this as a pretty clean application, really.
Okay, thank you. Any questions first? Yeah. No? All right. We do not have any more questions now. We are in committee now. Okay, let's, Ms. Wilbur, yes, please.
So initially, I was a bit concerned about the lack of bicycle parking, but now with the variance number 2 removed, I think it's a good application. We can support it, and it's actually it's nice for a change to see commercial unit moving in, because we mainly see conversion in different directions. So hopefully more animated street, a little bit of commercial use. So I would bring a motion to support this application.
Ms. West want to second? As amended, as amended. And then I don't see any other conditions. And transportation is fine with it?
No objection from the transportation.
Yes, exactly. So all in favor? Unanimously approved, yeah. Thank you. So we move to item number 4, which is 729 One Road. The purpose for this is to construct a new 3-story dwelling. It's a triplex with a rooftop terraces and a rear 1-story attached two-car garage with a rooftop terrace. And there will be a total of 3 residential dwelling on this lot. We also receive a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 6 photographs of the property, and decisions affecting the property. We have presentation material from the agent, and also we have comments from Metrolinx, and we have received support, quite a number, 15 forms of letter of support, and they are on GLEN questions and also one road. And we have received a position from number 6, Grayton Crescent. Sorry.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent here in person. We also have the registered speaker in opposition from 6 Grayton Crescent online.
Yes, all right. So in that case, I think that please introduce yourself, and you do have a proposition, so we require a 5-minute presentation from you.
Good morning. My name is Lawrence Glazer. I'm the principal of L.E. Glazer Architect Limited. Our address is 85 Scarsdale Road, North York. We are the agents for the owner. To my right is Jason Friedman. He is the project architect also of my firm. Mm-hmm. The proposal before you was to redevelop the existing property. Currently it is approved as a triplex. It has 3 units in it. It is vacant. Was purchased recently by my client. The building itself is reasonably derelict, and there's been problems with break-ins and drug use being used in the building. So the proposal is to replace the existing building with 3 residential units, which you see in the elevation in front of you, and replace the existing 2 parking spots, which were approved in 2022 at a committee hearing with a garage, and then providing a rooftop unit on the garage, just a landscape open deck on the garage for use of the unit to on the north end of the development. The roofs, because of the unique nature of this site, it is very narrow and long along Grayton Crescent. It is not a typical residential unit that is built in the city of Toronto, where they are narrower and then deeper. This is it's a wide unit, and has required some of the variances that we've asked for here today. The FSI was approved in 2022 at 2.026. Our application is to increase it by 0.144 additional, and that's primarily because with the shallow depth of the lot, and even with the setbacks that we're using here, we need some additional width in order to make viable bedrooms and interior spaces for these units. As you have in hand and has been discussed, there was, I believe, 15 or 17 letters of support from the neighborhood. Our client did canvass the area and tried to speak to everybody. And we do recognize that we do have Mr. Luca from 6th Grade, the next door neighbor to the north, who was in opposition to this. I know I have 1 minute and 40 seconds. I'd just like to address a couple of items that he had in his letter to answer some of those questions. He's concerned about property value. We would respectfully suggest that 3 new residential units would increase the property value versus the derelict building that's there right now. The garage location, I believe his main concern is the garage, and he can certainly speak to that when it's his opportunity, is on the north wall will be on the property line as per the application in order to provide an enclosed parking instead of leaving open parking that he would be looking down on. I acknowledge that he has concern about being able to see around the garage as he backs out his car, but that would be no different than having a rear yard, basically a rear yard fence on the property line that would be potentially built if it was open in order to screen the cars anyway. So there was really no difference from that. As far as water drainage is concerned, that would be addressed in terms of the nature of the landscaping and the way it's done. And we're also proposing that what is currently the concrete pad in front of the building along Graydon become a landscape gardens for the units with pathway entrances.
Okay, thank you. So we hold our question to them after we hear the opposition. We'll come back to you and ask questions. Also, you can respond to the opposition too. Okay, thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we'll unmute Vince Luca.
Vince, you are unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My name is Vince Luca. Yeah, I'm speaking regarding 6 Grayton Crescent.
Okay.
I have a serious problem with this. I don't have a problem with the building itself. I have a serious problem with setback of the garage being built on the lot line. The gentleman mentioned the fence. The fence would be 6 feet high, and said that the garage was much higher than that. My concern is that the requirement was setback was 7.5 meters, and to go to 0 setback, it's not a minor variance. It's to me, it's major variance. To have the garage wall sitting on the lot line, it might raise problems in the future, because I don't know how the owners of this property will be able to service anything that has been done without going on our property. As I said, I don't see this as a minor variance. I think it's a major variance. The problem I have with this is that it is going to block our view. There's no question about that. Sunlight, and it's not suitable. I can see that they have many supporting letters, and the owner approached a lot of people there, but they never approached me. Strangely, he never came to ask for my support or my opinion about it. We are the ones who are directly affected by this. The people across the street or on Vaughan Road or the other people on Grayson Crescent, really, they're not affected by this at all. We are the ones affected right next door. To have a wall right on the lot line, when the minimum requirements are 7.5 meters, to me, it's a very serious issue. I strongly oppose it. I cannot see how they can be allowed to do that, to build a property, to build a garage like that.
Okay, thank you. Are you finished? You done?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Anyone wants to ask questions to this speaker? Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Those, we only have one proposition, right? Okay. So let's get back to the agent. You heard the opposition, and then you can rebut the opposition, and then we might have questions to ask you.
Sure, thank you very much. I just want to comment on a couple of items that Mr. Luca mentioned. Sunlight, given the width of this building on the site, it's being very narrow, the actual shadow impact on it, on the property to north, is going to be minimal. And notwithstanding that, the shadow impact would be basically from before noon. Afternoon, the shadow of the building is onto the street. So there's no significant shadow issue here. Also, the shadow from the garage is negligible too, because it is simply a single story with the privacy screen on it. Mr. Luca had indicated that we had not reached out to him. It's my understanding, Tony, did you spoke to Mr. Luca, or?
Yes, he called me.
Okay, Mr. Luca called the owner of the property, and they did have a brief discussion on this. So I just want to make clear that there was some communication. It was not just proceeding in a void. The final comment I'd like to make is that we recognize Mr. Luca's concern. If it would alleviate his concern, we would be amenable to reducing the garage from being a two-bay garage to being a single bay, and giving roughly a 12-foot setback from the property line at that point to the garage. And having garages at the rear of a property is not uncommon for the area, or out of keeping with the residential developments all the way along Vaughan Road, where there's still the single-family homes. I'd also comment that we distributed the precedent drawings, and if you go to the last page of the precedents, you'll see, what was the address?
275 Vaughan.
275 Vaughan is a redevelopment very, very similar to this, a narrow lot with it appears to be almost if not a zero setback to the property line. I don't know if the committee wants to see that, but there is the photos of that document. Do you have the precedent document? Yeah, it's the last page of the precedent document. Yeah, that one there. Mm-hmm. You can see that the back wall there is along the garage line of or the driveway line of the adjacent neighbor. Mm-hmm. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And I also noticed that they also have a sort of drive, which is like 8 feet wide, just north of your proposed garage, too. There's a sort of more increased distance from your garage to their.
Yes, we're prepared to increase the distance from the garage if that would satisfy Mr. Luca.
8 feet, yeah, okay. So, thank you. Yeah, we have questions from.
Yeah, so I think that your offer of only doing a one-car garage, and then I guess the other parking spot would be open, is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct.
So that seems like that seemed to me like a good solution to this. The problem is I don't see an easy way to just make those variants, those revisions in the current thing. I welcome you to suggest a way, but I'm just wondering if maybe we just need to defer very briefly for you to submit new plans and new variances to set that up, if you were going to do that.
Okay, sorry. Before we asked him what he's going to do, let's discuss this in the committee, because
Well, I just wanted, I want to set up if they're willing to do that.
Yeah, that is
first.
tough to do it on here today. Because it will change the setback too and all that.
Yeah, there's several variances that would be
So,
affected, plus the plans would be affected.
So my position is that maybe the committee is ready to discuss it without that change, as it's proposed.
Okay, well,
For you, Madam Chair, I think
Yeah.
the question on the floor is the applicant in a position to request deferral in order to make such revisions?
yes.
Okay, so you can speak to that question.
Yes, if that is the preference of the committee, we would ask for a deferral and make the revisions, submit them to the committee for approval at the next convenient.
Okay, so in that
Thank you very
case, we
much.
keep that option open. And let's discuss whether we want to have it defer and whether we are ready to make a decision as is proposed.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair, right? All right, so I do have a couple of questions I'd like to ask. Along the, is it called Creighton Avenue?
Region, yes.
Yeah, the existing is all sort of paved concrete, right? The boulevard, the city boulevard part.
Yeah, the city paved the boulevard.
Yeah, but then it seems that on your site plan, do you propose to put some soft landscaping there instead?
Yes, what we propose to do is, as we move through the approval process, is to approach the city to remove the concrete and have that landscape to be sympathetic with the park that's across the street.
Yeah, so if we're going to, so I like to keep that as sort of part of what you propose, but will that means that you have to work with the city because it's not your property, but then you will propose to?
It would be no different than all of the various front lawns
Yeah, then you
along
will
the
just
street that
be able-
they're landscaped, but whether it's the city prefers sod or whether there's some tree planting or there is gardens planted, we'll work with city
You
planning
work
to
with the
come up
city,
with
that's what- to
a most
ensure-
appropriate solution.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is that the committee cannot really put I like to see it happen, right? I'm not too sure other members, but we cannot put as a conditions because it's not your property.
Understood.
So,
yes.
so I just want to put it as a comment. You're going to continue working with the city, ensure that there's some soft landscaping will be
Yes.
in place.
Yes.
And that's one. The other question is very minor. I noticed you put a terrace also on the proposed garage.
Yes.
Rooftop. How do you get up there? Who will be using it?
That would be unit number 3 would
Number
be
3.
have the use.
Maybe I misreading it.
The unit that's adjacent, the most northerly unit, would have the use of that particular terrace as part of their.
Yeah, because I didn't have the plan that's showing direct. Okay, maybe I just didn't see the door or something. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see the door either.
Maybe you forgot to open the door because it looks like it's a stair.
Yeah, we would adjust the plans to accommodate that.
Just, would there be, whether it's one or two garages in the end, would there be privacy screening on the side facing the neighbor?
Yes, that's shown on the drawings that we have privacy screening on the rooftop deck, the garage deck as it is right now, and that would certainly be on the new one as well, so that we weren't imposing on the neighbor in terms of overlook.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And these privacy screens are like 1.5 meter high?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so please, any question? So we do not have any more questions, so now we still go back to the idea, right? Whether you guys are ready to hear the proposal as it is now, or whether you suggest to have a deferral. And
I would agree with Dylan's position. I think a deferral would result in an improved application and also would give them a bit of time to work with transportation to kind of secure the landscape frontage, which is, I think, an important part of this application. But I do agree that I think that in its current state, I think it's pushing it a bit much, but I think a deferral, removing one of those parking bays in the garage, would result in less impact on the northerly neighbor, and I think would result in a more supportable application. So I'm in favor of deferring it.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, I'm on the opposite. I will think that because it is a one story. First of all, the garage, and also although it seems that they have like still setback, but there's quite a wide laneway between them. And I would imagine if you are on that street, if you have a house right next to you, because also this little garage is at the front of their house, the number 6, is it Clayton? Yeah, whatever, that they do have a nice very extended backyard, which is not affected by that at all. So I would think that the shadow study, as the shadow reduction is not going to make that much difference. That's why I think that I'm ready to hear as is proposed. In my opinion, when you're on the street, whatever this is, Clayton, it's actually improve more of like you feel it in air, and then you have a driveway, so it's more in character of a residential street, rather than you have a tall 3-story and suddenly little one-car garage and then an empty space and then a laneway. So I will think that the proposed is more in fitting with the context of the street right now. That's my opinion. But
I hear what
let's
you're
vote for let's make the decision whether a deferral is preferred or we can hear it as it is. So let's have the first motion.
Sorry, I just want to say, yeah, for me, it's not so much about the sunlight as about the visual impact of having a wall right on this edge of your property. I do think that setting it back will just alleviate that, the impact on the neighbor without having, I think, first of all, I think it's otherwise a great proposal. Like, I think it's great, like very inventive, it's constructive, whatever. I just think that the impact on the neighbor is really, having that wall right there is a bit much, and setting it back a bit will really just address that issue.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's a solution there.
Deal, I think it's, first of all, thank you for proposing it, to being flexible, and I see it as a great example of how you improve, the visual face of the neighborhood. But I agree that, we need to alleviate the concerns, and we need, the massing too, at the back. So I think that would be a good, desirable outcome. So I agree with you.
But when you look at the street itself, this is better to me. It actually makes the street more consistent with residential character. But okay, so we
Move a motion then?
Yeah, make the first motion first.
Yeah.
And
okay, so I'll move a motion to defer this application so that the applicants can revise their site plans and variances so that there's only a 1-car garage at the northern end of the lot.
Okay, this Peter second. Okay. Yeah. All in favor for the deferral? 4-1. Yeah. We have to defer this so that you can do what you have proposed, and you'll come back to us.
And yeah, I do want to thank the proponents for offering that solution. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So the next item is 5. Is 20 Strathmore Boulevard. This is to alter the existing 2.5-story semi-detached dwelling by converting the existing attic into habitable space. We received a copy of survey site plan, floor plan elevations, and 6 photographs of the property, and also we received correspondence from zoning examiner.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you. Please introduce yourself, and then, we can go on from there. Yeah.
My name is Karen Singh from 54 Eastview Crescent, Orangeville, Ontario.
Okay. So you do not have any opposition, and I think that looks like a very straightforward application. See, our panels needs representation. No, we do not need a presentation from you. Do you have anything specific you want to address the panel before we move into discussion?
I don't have a visual presentation. I did prepare a quick statement in support of our application.
Okay.
But if the committee is in support of our application, I don't think I would need to present that.
Okay, it's up to you. I will just let's ask, that's all. All right.
Okay, yeah, I'll share it. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Okay, so can I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm here today as the representative of the homeowners of the semi-detached dwelling at 20 Strathmore Boulevard. We are requesting a minor increase to the maximum permitted FSI from 0.6 to 0.667, which equates to a 14.37 square meter increase. This increase is to accommodate interior renovations to construct a conditioned, livable space within the existing unfinished attic. There are no proposed changes to the building envelope, and the height, width, and overall massing of the home will remain as is. The purpose of this alteration is to improve the overall layout and function of the home without impacting the character of the neighborhood or neighboring properties. The proposed work will not result in any privacy concerns or negative visual impact from the street. We have also been transparent and communicative throughout this process with our adjoining neighbors at 22 Strathmore Boulevard. Our neighbors who were previously approved for a third-story addition with a rooftop patio have expressed support for our application from its onset. We would also like to highlight that other more extensive variances have been approved along the street. One example would be 13 Strathmore Boulevard, where a minor variance request was approved for a third-story addition with an FSI increase of 45.95 square meters above the maximum allowable. In comparison, our proposal is significantly smaller in scale and does not involve expanding the home beyond its current exterior confines. Despite the small scale of what we're proposing, we've ensured that the design meets the overall intent of the zoning bylaw and supports the goals of the city's official plan. This modest and thoughtful improvement enhances the function of the home while maintaining the context of the street. For these reasons, we believe our application aligns with the Planning Act, and we respectfully ask for the committee's support. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Okay, any question to the speaker? No? No. Now we are in committee. Yeah, please. Now, Ms. Wilbert, please.
I just think it's a very straightforward proposal. Just, move ahead with approving it.
Okay, anyone second? Ms. West second. All in favor with no conditions? All in favor, unanimously approved. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Our next item is item 6 is 3991 Road. This is to permit a retail store, which is a food take-out eating establishment, a coffee shop located with the first level. And there will be a total of 1 commercial and 2 residential units on the lot. We receive a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 4 photographs, and cover letter from the agent, and also a letter from the councillor. We receive support from with 9 signature petitions, and on Vaughan Road, and also Arlington and Cottingham Street. We also receive oppositions from 390 Vaughan Road.
Through you, Madam Chair. We also, if under the very late materials to the presenter, there's also a letter from Councillor Josh Matlow regarding this one as well. And it is supporting.
Oh, I see. It's another letter. It's a second letter from a different councillor. Yeah. All right.
And then through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online. We also have 1 registered speaker here in person.
In person and in opposition, right?
I believe opposition?
Yeah.
No? In support? Okay.
Okay. So in that case, you're going to speak, right? You would like to come up and speak?
Yes.
Okay.
So, well, let's hear from the agent first, and then she can make her way to the podium.
Yeah, please, yeah.
So the agent has been unmuted.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. just ask one quick question? So we got a letter from Josh Matlow, or
Let's have the agent first before.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
We just lost, they can't hear us
okay.
through WebEx.
Oh, mine is up. I can see myself.
So they can hear us, okay, so they can hear us on YouTube. And we cannot be heard on WebEx. Okay, so turn off your videos. Please turn off your microphones.
All of us?
Yes, everyone.
Okay.
And we're just gonna call IT and get it rectified.
Oh, I can.
On WebEx? Yeah. So we're just gonna do a testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. They can hear us.
Yeah, okay, great. There was an internet issue.
Okay, thank you.
to open it from the outside now. Oh, okay, you can tell Sabrina, yeah. Okay, thank you. We can continue. He said it's fixed, so, but then we have to wait for, oh, sorry.
Okay, members, please turn on your videos, please turn on your microphones, make sure your laptops are muted.
Yes.
We will proceed with item number 6, 399 Vaughan Road. Through you, Madam Chair, then we will connect with the agent.
Yes.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Jamie Shudletsky, 521 Atlas Avenue, York, Ontario, M6C 3R4.
Okay. Since you do have only one opposition.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, sorry, we do have one letter of opposition, but the person that's here is speaking in support.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you can give us a very brief presentation, and then we can proceed with the other speaker. Yeah.
Yes, sure. So to introduce the proposal,
please introduce yourself first. Thank you.
Oh, Jamie Shudletsky, 521 Atlas Avenue, York, Ontario, M6C 3R4. I am representing the leaser of 399 Vaughan Road, who is proposing a takeout coffee shop at grade. There's currently a 2-bedroom unit above that is leased by the leaser of this coffee shop. So the residential tenant is also the commercial tenant. Currently, there's a hair salon which would be converted by way of interior renovations. So there's no development or exterior changes, additions that are proposed by this proposal. The coffee shop is just not listed as a permitted use per the bylaw. So we're simply asking that the use be added to permit the coffee shop use. This portion of Vaughan Road is designated as a major street, so the goal is that this use would complement the proposed intensification that's imagined by the city's proposed zoning bylaw amendment for major streets. To borrow from Councillor Matlow's support letter, our goal is for this use to provide a community amenity, a place to meet up and to shop local. It's a type of small retail that can help to create a walkable and livable neighborhood here. The coffee shop proposal style is inspired by the neighboring Hunter Coffee Shop at 423 Vaughan Road, which was approved by this committee in 2017. Hunter Coffee Shop is a very successful and loved neighborhood landmark. There are lineups all day on the weekend at their walk-up window, and it also is a similar vision to ours where we don't have people dining in. You're kind of coming in, grabbing something local to eat or drink, and then going to eat off-site or going home. In addition to Councillor Matlow and Councillor Cole's support letters, we also have 16 neighbor signatures, and through conversations with both the Transportation Department and the Planning Department, we've learned that they have no concerns as well. And just to conclude, we feel strongly that this proposal is not just in keeping with the city's new proposed bylaw and the official plan vision for neighborhoods, but that more importantly, it would truly offer an important community amenity for everyone to enjoy. Thank you very much, and I welcome any questions.
Yes, please, yeah, we have.
Just a question. In the purpose of the application, it says that there's a unit in the basement, but the plans don't seem to indicate that. Can you just clarify?
Yeah, there is a 1-bedroom residential unit as well in the basement.
Is there? Okay. Okay, thanks. It's just, it's not in the plans, so that was a little confusing. And then the other quick question, just for clarification, is I understand it's primarily a takeout establishment, but it looks like there's a few seats on the windows that people can sit in as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's primarily just a takeout, but the intent is just to have seating sort of casually while you grab your things and organize and leave. It's not a dine-in establishment.
Got it. Thank you very much.
And, I have a quick question too. Yeah, on the side plan, there's some existing parking spaces, 2 at the rear and 1 on the side street. Are these for staff or these are not meant? Are these legal? I mean, the one on the boulevard, for example, the Arlington Avenue. Is that a legal permitted parking space already? Yeah.
Yes, so that is a legal parking space on the boulevard there. Mm-hmm. That parking space could be used by the client if she would like to by way of applying for a new license, as the current license is designated for the hair salon.
I see. So it's for the property, well, rent tenants or the owner, I guess, right? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Any other questions? No. All right. We don't have any more questions, so we're ready for the next speaker. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can just turn on the microphone. Yep, perfect.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Schwartz-Geller. My address is 9 Austin Crescent in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Thank you for having me. I'm the owner and operator of Soul Provisions, which is a local business that served the Vaughan Road community from 571 Vaughan Road for the past 5 years. And I'm here today to speak in strong support of the minor variance application for 399 Vaughan Road. It is in the best interest of the Vaughan Road community to add more businesses. One of the challenges for me is that I'm the lone business in that area. I have actually been trying to relocate next door to the property that we're talking about today at 399 Vaughan Road to 397 Vaughan Road. This is a space with a long commercial history and a storefront character that continues to suit community and commercial focused uses. And as we work through our own zoning process, I'm heartened to see another thoughtful and complementary business proposing to join our community. I feel this application aligns closely with both the city's stated goals and with the kind of business activity that we really do need more of on Vaughan Road to keep it safe and vibrant and self-sufficient. I echo the comments made by the councillors in support of this application. The proposed use is exactly the kind of small-scale independent commercial activity that the city is encouraging, particularly as we look ahead to the expanding housing options in neighborhoods initiative, the EHON, which I'm very excited about. My understanding is that EHON is rooted in the principles of walkability, livability, and smart density, and it's exciting and exactly why 399 and next up, hopefully me, at 397 Vaughan Road need to be restored to commercially zoned buildings approved for food and beverage. Based on my results, just a few blocks down the road at 571 Vaughan Road, nothing really brings a community together quite like food. This new business, and hopefully my new neighbor, will enhance the pedestrian experience, encourage foot traffic, and will activate the streetscape in a way that benefits everyone. I think that the commercial character of this stretch of Vaughan Road has been long established, and the surrounding businesses, including my own, Soul Provisions, form a very small but very vibrant community cluster. And the addition of yet another local active storefront is not only compatible, but it's truly desirable for those of us who own small businesses in the area already. Allowing this application to move forward does send a strong message that the city values local entrepreneurship and understands the importance of small-scale commercial vitality in primarily residential neighborhoods. As someone deeply invested in my community, both personally, I live in the neighborhood, and professionally, I fully support this variance and hope the committee will approve it. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank Thank you very much. Any question to the speaker? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here. So, any question to the applicants before we move? Okay, now we are in committee. Okay. Yes, Peter.
Thanks, Chair. I think we just have this one variance before us, and it's to allow takeout eating establishment. And I think that we've seen in the application and with the support, there's broad support from multiple councillors and neighbors and other like-minded tenants in the area. This is a highly desirable thing for the neighborhood, and particularly because it's right on Vaughan Road, and it's surrounded by historically retail businesses, and this is just the next generation of that. I think it's extremely desirable, and the variance will have no impact. So I'm going to move approval without condition.
Yes. I want to just add a comment, just to very briefly address the opposition letter. The concern is about increased traffic at the back lane. I don't know, so that's why I asked the use of those parking space. It seems that it's not really for customer, the parking space. So I do not think that the concern will be there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I just make one comment that there is a bit of a strange thing with this basement apartment, which is not in the plans. I just wanted to register that as a bit of a concern, although overall I think this is obviously an excellent proposal.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Woolbert, please.
Yeah. You can ask the agent about.
Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, we can
I
ask.
did ask, and they said there was, but anyway, it's not really part of the application.
Okay. So, yeah, you're right. It's not, but, so, any other comment? Peter have a motion. Anyone want to second that motion? Okay, Ms. Woolbert, second. No, there's no conditions, right? Yeah, all in favor? All in favor. Approve. Unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for coming. The next item is number 7, is 40 PLAYTER Boulevard. This is to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by constructing a one-story weird ground floor addition and a weird third floor dormer addition. This is to, we have received a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 4 photographs, and also a tree protection plan. We also have support from 50 PLAYTER Avenue, Boulevard.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning. Through you, Madam Chair,
Yes.
Sal Creamy here to present 40 PLAYTER Avenue.
Yes. It seems
Boulevard.
Yeah, you do not have any opposition here. I'm going to see whether our plan will require a presentation first. No. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Question. So the addition, does it extend beyond the existing rear wall?
Through you, Madam Chair, if we refer on the plans to A 1.05, you'll see that the foundations will extend only to the extent of the existing rear main wall and side main wall. So no, it'll stay within the confines of the existing foundation footprint of the house.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? No, we do not have any more questions to you now. We are in committee. Please. Please.
I'm happy to move a motion to approve these variances. It's really, really minor. They're just filling in a small indentation. It's currently a porch in the backyard. That's the primary change. It's really minor. It has no impact on anyone, and provides slightly enhanced living conditions for the owners. So I move that we approve these variances without any conditions.
Okay, and Ms. West, second? Okay. All in favor with no conditions. Unanimously approved. Thank you. And we have the next item, number 8, is 25 Sibley Avenue. This is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a second-story, a rear second-story addition, which is going to be a sunroom. And we have received a survey site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a revised site plan, floor plan, and elevations, and 2 photographs of the subject property.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're here. Can you introduce yourself, and then we can go on from there. Yeah.
Sure. Good morning, Madam Chair and the committee. Mark Santana. I'm the agent on behalf of the owner for 25 Sibley Avenue, variance. My address is at 96 Finch Drive, Belleville.
Okay.
So I'm here to hear concerns, questions, and responses as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're only asking for one variance. There any questions? I just want to ask a very brief question. Is that you have some revised plans? Are they? And why they have to be revised? Are they?
Yeah, yes. During the application for the variance, the applicant examiner has noted some inconsistencies in the drawing, so we have corrected them.
Oh, I see. Okay, you corrected, then it's consistent with what you're asking, right? The variance.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to. So, yes, do you have any questions?
Oh, no question.
Okay, we do not have any more questions. We are in committee now. Okay, go ahead, Ms.
There's no other question from my colleague, so I'm ready to put forward the motion to approve this application with no condition.
Okay, Ms. Robert, second. Approve with no conditions. All in favor? All in favor. Approve. Thank you. Okay. So next item is number 9, and it's 32 Halford Avenue. This is to alter existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a one-story addition along the south wall. And they're asking one FSI variance. Oh, sorry, we have received on this one is a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 2 photographs of the property, and 3 protection plan, a natural ravine feature permit application, and also a TRCA application permit letter. And we received also from TRCA, a comment from TRCA, and also from RNFP, Urban Forestry. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay.
Mackenzie, you are unmuted.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair and committee. My name is Mackenzie Rintz. I'm at 290 Goodwood Road, Goodwood, Ontario, and I'm the authorized agent for 32 Halford Avenue.
Okay, thank you. You do not have any registered oppositions here, so I see whether our panel wants to have a presentation. Do you also have some questions? No, we have no question, and we do not require presentation. Do you have anything specifically you want to address the panel before we move into discussion?
No, I think the presentation speaks for itself. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Now we are in this in committee. Yeah, please, Peter. Yeah.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, this is extremely straightforward. They're just filling in a part of a void underneath a second-story part of the house, and it's tiny. So the only variance we have before us is FSI, and there's no impact to the neighbor by approving this. So I move approval without condition.
Yes, and second, Ms. West, second. All in favor with no conditions. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is 210 COSBURN Avenue. This is to alter the existing 4-story apartment building, which has got 33 residential dwelling units, by converting the existing integral garage, laundry, and also storage area into 4 additional residential units. So there will be 37 residential dwelling, and also will be 16 lawful parking space on this lot. We receive a survey site plan, 4 plans and elevations, 12 photographs of the property, and a cover letter from the agent. We also receive comment from transportation engineering and 1 letter of concern from tenants of 210 COSBURN Avenue, and also 1 opposition from is Brian Johnson and Dennis Pedrum as tenants of 210 COSBURN Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 3 registered speakers here in person, and they will be speaking in opposition.
Okay, thank you.
Alessia, you are unmuted.
Hi, yes, thank you. Good morning. My name is Alessia Sapels. I am the agent for the application. May I begin my presentation?
Okay. You have some opposition speakers, so please give us a 5-minute presentation.
Sure. Great. Well, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'd like to begin by briefly summarizing the background information that I submitted on March 31st by way of a cover letter. I see that there are some concerns raised by 2 tenants, and I will also use my time to preemptively address these. My clients purchased 210 COSBURN Avenue, the 4-story, 33-unit residential building last year. The parking and amenity space situation today remains as it did prior to their purchase. There exists 16 parking spots along the east side of the building and no existing amenity space. So during the zoning review following our application submission for the conversion of the interior garage space to 4 much-needed residential units by the city, we were surprised to learn that the city's records indicate the existence of 26 parking spaces. This is based on an old site plan from 1957. The site plan shows parking spaces along the west side, in the rear, and in the garages. But you'll see on the site plan that the west and rear of the property cannot possibly accommodate actual parking spots. And while the interior garages would accommodate parkings, it has only ever been used for storage, and we have a letter from the previous and original owner confirming this, as there was never any demand nor apparent need for it. It is for this inaccuracy from a 1957 site plan that our zoning review indicates a reduction in parking spaces, but this is a technicality as our current site plan reflects actual conditions. Converting the interior garages to units will not reduce the number of available parking spots, and until now, no tenant has complained about a lack of parking. So here today, we simply want to demonstrate that there is no reduction. I would point out that the proposed units do not require that we provide additional parking, and the building's location also benefits from readily accessible public transportation, further supporting the creation of 4 residential units. Regarding amenity space, the building predates the requirements for such space by the bylaw, and we're not removing any as none ever existed. However, the bylaw requires 2 square meters of interior amenity space per unit and 40 square meters per new unit and 40 square meters of outdoor amenity space. But the building's layout simply does not allow for it. The units are spacious, and again, we have no record of tenants expressing concerns about this. At this juncture, I'd like to address the first letter of concern, which regards laundry facilities. My clients currently do provide washing machines and dryers in the basement, and we're not removing them. The proposed plan shows their relocation to the other side of the wall, and I would again like to confirm that there is no reduction in the actual number of machines, and I hope this provides some comfort to the writer of this letter. With respect to the second letter of concern, which was submitted 2 days ago on April 7th, 5 days past the deadline, we would ask that you kindly take note of the timing of the letter submission, as we are of the opinion that it not only betrays the motivation for the letter, but that it also didn't really provide us much time to address the concerns raised. My clients did nevertheless reach out to the writer of the letter the very next day. By no means do we wish to trivialize these complaints, but we do believe that they were not raised in good faith, and we believe that many of the claims are unfounded. The complainant maintains that the parking spaces in the garages were taken away from tenants, but my clients have a signed letter from the previous owner which confirms the garages were not included in tenancy agreements or ever used for parking. When my clients took over the property, only 2 of the 4 garages were being used for temporary storage, and both these tenants returned their keys voluntarily. Please note that the writer of the objection letter was not one of these users. With respect to the storage lockers the complainant suggests are being taken away, these are basement lockers that contain construction materials belonging to the previous and current landlord for building maintenance only. These lockers were never included in any lease agreements, nor were tenants ever given access to the locker room. Tenants are provided with 3 large lockers, 1 per floor, which have been offered as needed, and to this day only one of these has been taken up. My clients also maintain that the complaint about bicycle storage is inaccurate. There's never been any designated bike storage on the property, and this is how my clients inherited the building. I would note that we have included 4 indoor bike parking spaces in the basement and 4 outdoor spaces in the rear yard in our proposal. The very recently raised concerns about parking sufficiency by the complainant are also noted. However, my clients again maintain that there are visibly vacant parking spaces currently on site, and they have ledgers confirming this that date to well before their purchase. I would note at this point that the writer of the letter requested that no new parking arrangements be implemented until construction is complete, and my clients are in support of this and have committed to this, as well as to minimizing disruption to tenants during construction to the best of their ability. And this was confirmed in writing to the complainant yesterday by my clients. My clients have repeatedly emphasized to me that their aim since taking over the building was to improve the condition. They have built brand new roof for the building, which many tenants have complimented and welcomed, as there are no longer any leaks. They've upgraded and improved plumbing, electrical, and intercom systems, and look forward to continuing upgrading and bringing longevity to the building for the tenants to enjoy in good living conditions. In conclusion, we do not believe the 3 variances being requested to be unreasonable. The one for parking being a technicality, and the one for amenity space not really changing the status quo. We hope that unfounded and distracting claims should not be aired here, nor should they stand in the way of creating desperately needed rental units in Toronto, which is really the issue at hand here. Thank you for your time.
Through you, Madam Chair, then one by one, please come up to the podium, one at a time. You each have 5 minutes to speak.
Oh boy, where do we begin here? My name is Brian Johnson, and I live in 210 COSBURN in apartment 205. And I had permission from Stanley Wu to submit my material. No one of the tenants, as far as I know, received any letter about this. We only saw the notice poster on the building, which moved around. I would like to note, as I read the submission from the architect on behalf of the landlords, oh yes, the landlord ownership is a little bit confusing. There is an individual named Alan Alter and his father Michael Alter, and they apparently are the owners of a corporate entity which owns the building. So they come across as owners, but other times they have presented themselves as property managers, which would sort of be an employee of the corporation. So it's a bit confusing talking to them. Sometimes they're sort of like, oh, I'm doing policy of the corporation to arrange things. Other times they're acting in a demanding kind of manner over setting policy at the moment on the spot. So it's a bit frustrating as tenants to know where we're talking to the fellow who technically owns the building. I noted 7 points of confusion, error in the letter of submission. The architect says that in paragraph 3, the internal garages have only been used for storage long before purpose. And I have seen at least 3 different cars parked in the different garages, and they've had used them, I understand, for a number of years there, and the landlord worked to empty these garages, which are parking spaces, by asking very high prices, $800 per month. Currently, they were paying $35 a month, and that becomes like what do you do as a tenant saying like we're paying $1,000? So there's a pressure that was unpleasant on the part of some of the tenants to comply. Like the landlord's asking us to do this. He's asking for big numbers. We can't do that. And so so the cars get moved out, and it looks like there's just storage in there. In paragraph 4, converting the internal garages to units will not reduce the current number of available parking spots. given the application, but given the assumed amenities at the time of purchase of the building, not yet 1 year ago, and it was June last year that they purchased the building, there were parking spots there. Now they're saying there is no reduction. But, you know, depending on how you count, there's either 5 or 4 or 7, up to 7 spots being removed that would be available, but they lock the tenants out. No tenant has complained about the lack of parking. And we have, as I note in my submission, that there are 4 cases before the Landlord and Tenant Board. Each of them touches on parking as a problem. A couple of tenants got pushed out because the landlord was using the police to ticket and threaten with towing, and so they end up on the street. As one of the photographs points out, there's a red, white, and black car. Those were tenants' cars. So it's not like there's a lack of parking. There is a lack of parking because partly you've demanded that people move out. And in paragraph 6, we're not removing any amenity space, but if you look at the picture, where's the storage? As much as the store here, they're saying the storage is just a landlord thing. The understanding is that the tenants have used the locker space beside the laundry room for tenant storage over time, and that as an understanding in a verbal agreement with the landlord that that space is available for use, providing their own padlock on smaller lockers within a larger room. And the plan by the landlord, as illustrated in the architect's drawings, demonstrates that that room is totally removed. And that's thus a loss of amenity. Their desire to try to provide amenities, they're putting in 4 more units and saying, we're not even going to try to provide more amenities for, you know, these people with to store tires or camping equipment or such and such. You know, that's not a good thing. Finally, there's an addition of my clients attempted to provide an outdoor seating area, which is terribly amusing to me, as they cut down branches and left them in the parking lot for over a month at a time when they were pushing one of the tenants out of the parking spot. Where are we? 6 seconds left. Oh, well, there we go. I would let it rest with your decision to do the right thing in looking at this perhaps more deeply. I don't know, site inspections and such to make a good decision about this. Currently, the tenants are not fully happy about this as a good thing from a tenant perspective. Landlord thinks, without even mentioning yet, the income comes to him. He's arguing that, you know, it's good for the city, but it's income for him, and less provision for the tenants for parking, especially, and storage. All right. Okay. Is that? Oh yeah, I'm happy to.
I have there's 2 questions. So just to make sure, the storage space that is being eliminated, you're saying that some of the tenants use it?
I'm not sure what is in there at the moment, but I understand historically tenants had access to it. It's built with a number of lockers inside, and so tenants were able to choose one locker, put a padlock on it. But I've only been a tenant for a year and I haven't been able to see all of what my wife had automobile tires stored in there for her car. Sold her car, didn't need the tires, gave up the space. But the design was for the tenants to use.
So I just want to confirm. So you're saying that your wife personally experienced using some of that space as storage, personal storage?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And you know, I had a question about the parking spots. Like you mentioned that some of the tenants were pushed out of their parking.
Yes.
And did those parking spots include the interior, the covered parking spots being converted?
Yes.
Okay. And when did it happen? Like in the...
That would be October, just 6 months ago. 5, yeah.
So those parking spaces were being used, but, you know, they're not used now because, you know, they you know, got pushed out?
Yeah, there was a unilateral demand for $800 and comment by one of the landlords that he himself would be moving in to park there, which, though they don't live on site, right? I mean, but they visit the property. Right. Well, no, my wife, I got married, so she's been there.
Oh, okay. So on your lease, it says parking will be maybe not available if you wish to rent one, or I don't know what is the arrangement on the lease. So that you also mentioned there's a dispute or application to the landlord and tenants board. And is that part of it is the parking space, right?
Yes, 3 of the landlord-tenant board applications are about parking, and one of them is a group application that includes maintenance and harassment.
Do you know the status of that?
They have been submitted, or the applications have been made. They have not yet been scheduled. So we're in a waiting timeline from this. We applied in October to the landlord and tenant board, and we're waiting for them.
And that's based on the lease that has outlined that will be a part of the lease agreement that parking will be available. Is this why based on that?
That's an awkwardness because I have never seen what the landlord, what the agent said, that they have historical documents from the previous landlord. They bought the place in June, but we have not seen what those documents are from the previous landlord, so we can't sort of say that's not the way we think it goes. The previous landlord, owning for 30, 40 years, was a very casual guy, and my understanding, his documentation was close to not very much at all, and so he would casually offer, if it was available, oh, why don't you park there?
Okay, that's
so the lease,
what I mean is at least
the leases are few and far between. And so we don't, my wife, 18 years.
You don't have a lease?
We tried to ask for clarity on what we think the tenancy agreement is.
Yes.
And we sent that a few weeks ago to the landlord saying, hey, you know, we believe that we're allowed to have parking. We believe we're allowed to have storage. You're not providing internet for us. And you're trying to just get clarity on this. We didn't know this committee of adjustment thing was coming up at all.
So no tenants in the building actually has in their hand a document called lease agreement.
There are a couple of them, but I'm not sure of their details with that. But
okay.
33 units. There may be 3 or 4 that actually have a paper lease. Everybody else is just a handshake and welcome to the building, and we'll make a good go of it.
Okay, and also maybe I will ask the property owner, where do you store the garbage, the building, currently now? Yes.
Me? Oh, where's the garbage?
I want to get an answer from you if I do not.
The garbage is stored in bins outside. Closer to the front, there's a bit of if you look at the plan, there's a bit of an L shape, the driveway to the parking lot, and so there's what, 8 or 10.
Okay, everybody
bins.
will store the garbage there in an open area. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Yeah, any more questions to this question? Okay, thank you. The next speaker then.
Hello. My name is Gordon Mansfield. I am a resident or tenant of 210 COSBURN, and I'm here speaking in opposition.
Yes. What unit you are in?
Pardon?
What unit number?
Unit 2.
Unit 2, okay.
So I'd like to start off by saying I take issue with almost everything said in this proposal. I couldn't get through a single sentence without stumbling over a lie or just mistruth. I made some quick notes, and she was saying there's no new parking spot. There was a new parking spot created in front of the building after they took ownership. In the plans, it shows it as a parking space, but when they took ownership, there was a sign and a tree preventing the physical ability for a car to have parked there.
Okay.
That's just not true. Also, it says that there's 16 spots, but on the plans, I can only count about 14, and 3 of those are supposed to be for visitor parking. I'm not quite sure where she's getting this number from. 27 does sound extreme, though. The parking garage was not underused. Tenants were using it for as long as I've been there, about 6 years. They were using it for storage and parking, and as far as I knew, it was always full and used daily. And I witnessed the tenants being pushed out through what I would consider bullying tactics by increasing the cost of parking by horrendous amounts. Like Brian said, up to about $800. The garage, confusing myself. So this would reduce the amount of parking because there were still 4 cars, I believe 4 tenants were currently using this back to October, who now can't be using it, but it was being used. So this is not changing the amount of, it's lowering the parking available. I don't understand why 4 units are needed. Is that maybe there's a housing issue in Toronto? Maybe we just need more units, but no one has been crying for more tenants in our building. That's not a thing. Tenants have expressed concern, like Brian said. We've filed a T2 complaint that we're waiting to hear back about. Sorry, I'm too far away.
I missed what you just said.
I was saying that tenants have expressed concern about the parking that's being reduced, and that's part of the T2 forms that we've submitted to the tenant board.
To the tenant board is part of the lack of parking.
That was a major issue for people, in fact. Yeah. And it says somewhere in here that they were saying that the area was being used by people, something about drug use. I've never seen that in the 6 years I was here. It was just used for cookouts and gatherings. We never had to kick anyone off out of the area kind of thing. There was never any disagreements. As far as I know, everyone got along just fine. Shrinking the parking and the laundry room to make units is not really improving our building, and it's only going to make the lives of the tenants harder. The plans show that the laundry room will also be used for bike parking, so that just means we're losing even more space. We're going to have bikes in the middle of our laundry room now. And the plans don't quite show, but you have to walk upstairs and down another set of stairs to get to the basement level. And I don't know if this is true. I think someone lost control of one of their bikes, and that's what broke a window. That is still damaged to this day and has been damaged for months, I think, since October. One of the tenants has an electric bike that he's probably going to have a hernia trying to lift up these stairs and down these stairs every day. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to be quick but clear. Bikes were removed from we had no bike rack, and the bikes were put up against the fence at the back. People just put a lock on it, just leave it on the fence. And I guess that's not okay. I can understand that, but the landlord came by and forced everyone to take their bikes off the fence, but gave them no option for storage after that. So the tenants were expected to pull all their bikes. We don't have an elevator. The tenants are now expected to pull their bikes into the building and up as much as 4 flights of stairs. It's no easy feat, even for me. We also had an area, if you look at the plans, I think it's page 2 of the plans, the outline. There's this here. Yeah, there we go. At the back, it's not part of the building, but there is the lot includes the residence next door. I think it's the next page. Anyways, that was used. As far as I know, tenants who've been there for 20 plus years have always been enjoying this area. And it was cleared out, and there was even a storage shed there that is no longer allowed to be used. And I myself donated a bench to be used in the area because we were just enjoying it as a community. Do you mind if I approach with my picture? It's the backyard of the house next door to the building. And it wasn't part of the building lot, but it was used by the community, yeah. I seem to be the only tenant, I should say this, I seem to be the only person at the building with a written lease. In my lease, it states parking is available if I need it for $35. Storage is available if I ever need it. And, what else? I think those were the two issues, but yeah, if that needs to be submitted or for proof or whatever, I'd be happy to submit that, yeah. And I think that's all. And thank you so much for your time.
Question. So with regards to storage, and your lease mentions the storage on the in the basement. That
It simply states that storage will be made available if I want it. It doesn't state that like it's basement storage, or anywhere. Just that storage would be available.
Is there any additional storage on your floor or?
Not that I'm aware of. I personally never needed to use the storage. I was simply told that it was available to me if I needed it.
And as you mentioned, those parking spaces were like in the last 8 or 7 years that you've been living there, they've been used, right?
Every day I come home, not every day. I often saw them open and I could see the cars parked inside. The old landlord's, Chris, who I guess are super, but he parked there himself amongst the other tenants who were using it. It was also used for storage, but cars were being, people were parking and coming and going. It wasn't like a car was parked to the side and just sort of stored there. Like this was communal parking.
Okay, I have a couple of questions too.
Sure
a similar question. Tell me currently, the laundry room.
Yes.
How many machines and how, from your observation, from your understanding, how well been used and how many machines are there?
There are 2 dryers and 2 washers.
Yes.
And they recently replaced them with new ones that,
Yes.
as far as I know, are working better, and that's great.
Yeah.
They improved this, and we had a nice, great big sink for washing. When I worked in construction, it was fantastic.
And everybody uses it because they do not have the washing machine in their apartment, right?
No one else.
It's almost every tenant will use it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's my questions. And the second question is that you said that they asked you to remove your previous bike storage rack.
There was no bike rack or any kind of like designated area.
So currently, where do people store the bikes?
From what I was told by the landlord, that they're going to have to put it in their unit if they want a bike.
But at the moment, no one has any place to put their bikes.
No
right?
place
at the
to put
moment.
the bike.
So they either bring them back into their apartment or I do not know. I'm asking you the question.
Yeah, they'd have to bring it into the building up to their apartment by hand, and there's no elevator, which means they'd have to take it up to a maximum of 4 flights of stairs.
And in your observation, there a lot of people have bikes.
There are quite a few, and there's even a few people with, like, as I said, an electric bike, which is heavy. If you've ever tried to lift one of those, that's not fun, and doing that twice a day is not going to be good.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, no worries.
So
Yes,
just to follow up on that, did you say that people used to lock their bikes in the back?
Yeah, just against the fence, it kind of, like the typical bike lock.
So they just used the fence as kind of the secure thing.
And that was what was being.
And then eventually they were asked to stop doing that.
They were forced to stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. Did you also mention that since your lease is mentioned, I do not know how old your lease is, but at least that's a kind of like a reasonable price, say $35 for use of the.
It says in my lease, it simply states if I wanted parking, it would be $35 extra a month.
And then, but then the turnaround recently, it seems that the price has gone up to $800.
I didn't hear that because I don't drive, and he didn't come after me, but that's the price I've been hearing is he tried to increase it by about 100 something and then up to about 800.
That's what I want to make clear, what kind of message that people have.
It sounds like bullying to me.
It's okay. We leave that.
Sorry.
We leave
My
that
personal
out.
opinion.
Okay. Yeah, we just want to know this. Any other questions, please? Okay. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you guys. It was wonderful. Thank you for letting me speak. I just want to mention, if you'd like to see the lease that I'm speaking about, I'd be happy to see.
Yeah, you mentioned that to us. Thank you. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Jerry Francisco from 210 COSBURN Avenue, Unit 301 in Toronto. I am speaking as an opposition and on behalf of my parents for the parking garage. I want to point out in architect's letter, they mentioned that no tenant complained about lack of parking, which is false. We have made complaints that we have had the garage parking for a number of years, and they want to make changes without our consent. In an existing video, Michael Property Management requested that my parents pay $700 to $800 for the parking garage, despite of already paying
on top of the rent.
for the requested that my parents pay $700 to $800 for the parking garage, despite of already paying $100-something for a number of years. My parents had a conversation with Michael Property Management to pay that amount for the parking garage, which my parents said is completely too much, way too high. My parents did ask for an alternative parking space. My parents did ask for an alternative parking space. Michael proposed outdoor parking space that will cost $175. However, there is no space within the outdoor parking space. In addition to the $175 outdoor parking, my dad, Dennis Pedron, paid $35, which the previous landlord agreed on, which is my black Toyota Corolla, which used to park outside, which is now in the front of the building. In the existing video, Michael did claim that he will be using our garage parking for their convenience and paying for that space. Weeks later, we did see a sign that they'll be changing the garage parking into apartment units. In conclusion, Alan Property Management, who is the son of Michael, the other property management, when they were changing our lock at the garage, they said in an existing video and a picture that I have brought right here, showing about the lock, how they changed it and they put a hole, that the garage is not part of the rent. My family and I have lived at 210 COSBURN Avenue for a number of years and have had the parking space since 2012.
2020.
Yes, because my dad got a car, which is a white Honda Pilot SUV, and he asked the previous owner if he could park in that garage parking, and they approved of it, so he's been parked in there ever since.
For until recently, you say, right? Until you.
Sorry, 2012. Sorry.
You were parking there from 2012 to when?
Oh, sorry, 2012 to October is when they removed us from there.
That last year, October
Yes.
last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we still have a few things in there, so we are not sure if they removed our belongings.
Okay. All right.
Are you or your parents one of the people who've appealed to the Landlord and Tenant Board?
Sorry, could you say?
Are you or your parents one of the people who've appealed to the Landlord and Tenant Board?
Yes, I'm currently going through the issue with my family because I live with my parents, basically.
Yeah, but is your parents, are they one of the people who have made an application to the Landlord and Tenant Board?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And also, since you lost the indoor parking space, you said that they will try to work out an outdoor space, but it's not available or it's available?
There is none available.
None available.
Yeah, so-
they only tell you how much it will be if there's one, right?
Yes, with the previous owner, we paid, my dad paid $35, and what they're asking is $175
For the outdoor.
for the outdoor.
Okay, but then there's none available anyway.
Not available. And they did tell them that.
Okay. Okay, please, yeah.
Could you just specify how your parents, your unit lost this indoor parking space? What happened?
So all I know is that they just, let's say they targeted my family because they wanted that garage. There was another garage with the previous superintendent. I'm not entirely too sure about the story of why they chose our garage, but maybe because it's bigger, I'm not too sure. Because I don't go to the previous superintendent and check his area. But in our garage, it can fit 2 vehicles. And then there's other, you can, let's say, put just a few storage, not too much, but yeah. Sorry, did I answer your question?
Could you describe how did you lose this parking spot? You said like your parents, they used this parking garage for over 12 years, right? Or like 12 years, and then suddenly you got pushed out.
Oh yes, because of the payment. So they requested 700 to 800. First it was 700, and then later on in their statement they then said 800, which is way too much. So we asked for an alternative, and since we couldn't pay it, they just pushed us out by telling us that they're going to lock our garage. We have a small, there's next to our garage, there's a smaller version. My aunt, she gave that one up because of all the stress. Now that they have the possession over that, especially with the key, they open up the door and they opened up the door and then just went into our area, and they had a locksmith. We have a video of it. There's a locksmith that's changing the locks from the inside, and then there's a lock on the outside. This is our lock from the outside.
It's fine. Just describe to us.
Okay, so this lock, it looks like they drilled it and like.
Oh, they just locked it out.
Yeah.
Locked you out. That's how they lost it. And also, how much you were paying when you had that space for parking?
I know that my dad was paying somewhere around at least 100 something.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
Just around 100 before. Okay. All right. Thank you. Any more questions to this speaker? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so
Next
much.
one. Yeah. We have another one. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, I see no other speakers, so we'll go back to the agent.
Hi there. Thank you for the opportunity to address these tenants.
So you have 5 minutes to give us your answer.
I'll try my best, and I'm sure you'll have some questions as well. I've been in touch with my clients, the owners of the building, and perhaps I can just start with the last gentleman. I'm sorry I missed his name, but my clients are telling me that what he has claimed is false. His parents actually do have 2 parking spaces outdoors. They pay $70 for them, and they're theirs, and they're free to use, and we have ledgers that show this. So part of my struggle here in addressing these concerns is, again, this letter was posted 2 days ago, and I appreciate they were probably trying to, gather their information, but that really didn't give us an opportunity to submit a lot of the papers and evidence we have that completely dispute all the claims being made. The leases, the agreements, everything that is in place now has been inherited and is a continuation of what the previous owner had put into effect. And while I did have, one particular letter from the previous owner that confirms this, I didn't submit it because in this letter, he also makes claims that there is a long history of animosity with a particular tenant who spoke today, a long history of it, of just causing mischief and trouble. And I didn't think it was an appropriate platform to air that out. So I didn't submit it for that reason. But had I known, we would have submitted all this evidence showing it. And to be honest, I feel that a lot of the, paid parking, etc., this is stuff for the landlord and tenant board. My clients completely dispute all the accusations being made. Any parking that was there was like very temporary, maybe by the site super or a contractor, but it was not, any of the garage parking was never really used by tenants. In terms of storage, that again, there are 3 large storage locker areas per floor, and only one of them is being used. It is available to all tenants if anyone needs it. I'm sorry, I was making points while everyone was speaking. In terms of bike storage, the tenants are correct. They were, my clients confirmed they were parking bikes and locking them to the fences. The complaint came from the neighboring property owner. It was being chained to his fence, and so he's the one who asked that they be removed. And we are providing 8 new bike parking spaces. Yes, 4 of them are inside, but 4 of them are outside, and my clients are happy to provide more if needed. And if the 3 locker rooms aren't, the 3 lockers that are provided aren't enough, we could definitely look at providing some, a storage shed outside. That's not an issue. But again, these complaints were only brought to our attention 2 days ago. I specifically asked my clients if they have emails of any kind of evidence of complaints, and there were none. But what we do have is statements from the previous owner confirming our position. And I would just like to clarify that storage space is not an amenity space. Amenity space is defined in the zoning bylaw as space for recreational and social activities. So again, no amenity space ever existed in this building. I'm struggling because, a lot of this it seems like a personal accusations and falsehoods. And, just like they make one claim, the tenants, my clients are, making another. And I feel like this should be left to the landlord and tenant board to determine that. We have ledgers showing that there are vacant parking spots, that they're there for use. The fees, again, this is not I don't think the right venue to be disputing fees, but again, everything has been inherited from the previous owner. No one is making outrageous jumps in demands and in leases or prices. So I'm just looking to see if there was anything else. Oh, and the first gentleman made mention of the zoning poster being moved around. That's because as soon as my client would post it, somebody would take it down immediately. And so we had to work with Stanley to find a correct placement for it and make sure that no one could take it down. So there really has been a history of mischief, unfortunately. And again, I think the second gentleman, commented how the washer and dryers have been updated, the sinks have been updated. Those are all staying. They really are committed to the fact that they replaced the roof, or not replaced the roof, but fixed the roof. They are committed to the betterment of this building. And yes, and I would argue that there is a need for residential units in the city, right? So if we can make use of underutilized space, again, we are of the position that many of these claims about parking and storage are false. And we have the evidence. We just couldn't submit it in time. I'll leave it at that, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Yes. Any question? Yeah, please go ahead. I do have some. Yeah.
So looking at the proposed basement floor plan, I can see that the laundry got moved to the, probably, I don't know, to the left. But it's,
yes.
What is confusing to me, it's, 4 long-term bike parking in the laundry room. So can you explain that?
Yeah, they would be well mounted there. You can stack them one above the other. Those are more for long-term bike storage. They're available for tenants. There's none available now. And again, we are providing 4 at grade outside, and we're happy to increase that count and, work with the tenants. If we were aware of these complaints, we would have happily addressed them. But, 2 days notice, I don't think is very fair. But we're very much open to increasing the number of parking outside at grade. No problem.
Okay, my question to you is this. I do agree with you that we are not going to sort out the landlord-tenants issues here. That's not our purpose. But the reason why we ask some of the questions is to evaluate the impact on the current tenants. So that's also, that's our purpose. Okay. No,
if I could just...
my question is for you is this. Have you or your current client or owner try to or set up a meeting to all the tenants in the building before this application to explain the changes being proposed. Have you got tenants meetings?
I will have to check with my client. Can I just quickly consult? Is that possible? I'm sorry. And just while I'm waiting to hear back, yes, they are saying they have, but again, I won't name names. Somebody has kind of made it a mission to sabotage this. Again, this is not something that's appropriate to air out here.
No, please leave the character and the behavior behind. I just want to know if there was a meeting and when was it held, and what kind of discussions you had with them, or they all, because in your cover letter it states that there's no complaint about parking.
Yeah.
And then as evidence, so that we have all speakers all just have that same concern about parking.
Yeah.
So it is.
So again, just about the parking, Madam Chair, if I could just quickly, again, the last gentleman, like I said, his parents do have 2 parking spaces
the question
that are there.
is, did you have a meeting first? You said
my clients are saying that yes, they have, but again, that it was sabotaged on numerous occasions by one of the speakers. Yeah. We attempted to hold one in the beginning of January. There's a tenant who was there for 18 years who's in support of this. And the other 2 gentlemen who spoke about the parking complaint in the garage, they don't use any parking. They don't have any cars. So, yeah, it seems like their intent is not sincere, earnest. The motivation seems.
No, I told you not to bring that in. I just want to know what the meeting was about and when the participants.
So they attempted to hold one at the beginning of January, and yeah.
January. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Only questions, please.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I have a question, not related to the parking, but to your proposed site plan. There are three proposed entrances, and there's no landscaping or sidewalk or kind of protection being shown. Is there a reason for that? The doors would open immediately onto an active driveway with a significant amount of cars. I'm just wondering why there's not, say, a sidewalk or planters or something to give a buffer there.
I mean, it is an existing drive, but it's certainly something we can incorporate. Absolutely. Just trying to make it as, give cars parking there as much space as possible to actually, maneuver. But we could absolutely incorporate something that's maybe, 2-3 feet wide. A little landscaping with some kind of barrier, as you suggested. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Oh, please go ahead. Yeah.
So apparently there's 4 applications to the Landlord and Tenant Board that were filed in the fall. Were you aware of those when you submitted your materials?
My clients are aware, but they maintain that none of them have to do with any of the variances.
Well, they're all, at least 3 of them are literally about the parking spaces that you're proposing.
But it's about the cost of the parking, which again was just inherited from the previous owner. They're available.
You said in your statement that there's no complaints about parking, and yet there are actually 3 applications to the Landlord and Tenant Board specifically about parking. Is that not correct?
Again, they're frivolous ones, and again, I don't want to get into
whether they're frivolous or not. You said that there was no complaints, and there are literally 3 complaints in front of the Landlord.
It's not about the amount of parking. It's about the cost of parking.
Well, but it's also about the availability of those parking spaces that you're asking to convert. That's literally what those are about, right?
We disagree. Again, there's no evidence for. This is why I struggle. I don't want to make any accusations here by any means, but again, they're very frivolous and they're not about the availability of the parking. They're making claims that they're being extorted and blackmailed. None of it is true. We have the evidence. It would be presented at the landlord and tenant board, but again, it's.
Would it not be appropriate for us to wait for that to be resolved and then we can proceed with these variances?
I mean, that's up to you, but there is available parking on the property, and if it's the cost that's the dispute, again, 2 of the 3 speakers today don't even have parking requirements.
So
yeah.
you said that there was storage available on the other floors. Can you point to where on the plans that is?
There are 3 storage lockers. I believe.
I don't see. I was looking for them too.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah, they're not locker rooms. They're actual lockers.
Yeah, but they're not.
Where are they?
Let's see here. Okay, can we go? Is that? Sorry, I'm not right. Okay, 2nd, 3rd floor, and 4th. Let's see here. In the hallways.
But in the hallway, there's.
The hallways are narrow. I don't see where you would put a storage locker.
And there's 6 doors to the apartment, or 8 doors. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you haven't actually been in there yourself? I take it.
No.
Okay, so you're taking it on the word of the owners that there's these places,
yes.
But you don't actually haven't seen them yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
And they're not located on the plans.
No, they're not located. No, because again, they're not built in.
Finally, I just want to point out that we often get late opposition because people really only get 10 days notice. So people sometimes takes longer to actually organize things. I appreciate it's not really appropriate to say that a late thing had some kind of ulterior motive. Often we get people writing in late because they only find it late and they only have things. That's just a statement.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but it also didn't give us the time to offer counterproof, to submit counterproof. That's all.
No, that's why I think community meeting or consultation meetings or multiple ones, if you require, is sort of important for us to evaluate the impact, right? And then a lot of issues may be very, very minor and small can be resolved during that period. And that is what I think the committee members are always looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and again, these are 3 tenants of 33. Okay.
Any other questions, please? Okay. We don't have more questions, right? We are ready to discuss this. Okay. Now we are in committee. Thank you. Okay. We want to start. Peter, please. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Chair. Yeah. I mean, obviously, thanks to the tenants who came down. I think that they've raised some significant concerns, and I see them as the concerns as being tied up with the cases that are before the Landlord and Tenant Board. I think that needs to get resolved first because it's not just about the parking costs, it's about the supply, and the supply is affecting the cost. Right?
Yeah.
And I do think that I appreciate that there are benefits to adding these units to this building. I think that's great and that should happen everywhere, but I don't think that this is at a point where I can approve it yet. And there's small stuff like this outdoor amenity space, which would be very easy to achieve, and I think improve the daily life of the tenants, for very small effort, and particularly also just with the site plan, right? I think it's not a good situation now, what's being proposed in terms of those doors spilling onto a driveway. And so I think the application needs more thought, but I think that the landlord-tenant issues need to be resolved first.
Yes,
so
I totally agree. And those are the two my major issues is premature. Honestly, I think they do need to sit down with some tenants. Of course, you cannot expect what kind of reaction you get from the tenants, but a consultation period, I think it's just fair, especially if they have changed owners. Yeah. And I don't think it's fair to say that they inherited certain verbal whatever agreement from the previous owner. I mean, that is not a good reason. We do not know what those, so the tenants, the landlord and tenants board hearings should take place when then we get what they say, because it's a very crucial thing. It's not we are going to be judged on those, but we can see whether the amenity space and all that will impact the tenants too much. And maybe they will do some revisions, maybe reduce the size of some of the apartments and better amenity, because it is a loss. It's certain bigger laundry room. Now you have a laundry room with bike on that together. So that is to be informed to these tenants, I think, before they propose. That's why at the moment I think it's premature for me to support it.
Just in case, like, I agree that there is a conflict there that needs to be resolved before we move forward. But, you know, technically, in this case, do we defer it? But if we defer it because there might be changes, you know, following this hearing and, the tribunal decisions, or we just, it's a refusal.
Well, and in terms of the, even for the client, she's saying that they have evidence. Mm-hmm. That's evidence that has to go, that the landlord and tenant board can review and make a decision on, right? Like, we don't have that evidence. That's not what we're doing. But those landlord and tenant board applications are specifically about these spaces. Yeah. I don't think that we can make any decision until that's resolved. So I think we should defer it until all the landlord and tenant board.
But then when we defer, can we get, Deputy Secretary, if we defer, can we specifically mention the purpose for the deferral?
Through you, Madam Chair, of course, there has to be a reason for deferral. So we can say it out loud.
The deferral would be until the specific active current landlord and tenant board applications have been resolved.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's why I want to secure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we just defer, they come back with the same situation.
Exactly right. Like
the other panel might not know the knowledge.
It should not come back until those have been resolved, I think.
Yeah.
And any further revisions?
Further revisions. I would recommend adding improvements to the site plan.
Yes, very, very important, yeah.
And consultation with the tenants.
And, have some consultation with the tenant.
I would add, bicycle parking to that, the considerations.
Yeah, improve of the bicycle. Yeah, we solved the bicycle parking. Currently, they don't have any.
No. Well, and adding it to the laundry room is not helpful to anyone. So, I mean, I'm sure there's other solutions that could be found.
And can we also add the space for their storage? Because apparently now it's proposed to be stored at second, third, and fourth floor. So maybe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they should indicate if they have dedicated storage lockers. We would like to have them documented on plan. Okay, those are the reasons for the deferral, and then we would like to have a motion from the panel for deferral motion.
Sure. Chair, I'm happy to bring that motion to defer the application for the reasons we stated and with the conditions that must be met prior to the application returning.
Okay, second. Okay, okay, and another Mr. Reid second. And all in favor for the deferral with those reasons. Thank you. Unanimously approved the deferral. Yeah, it's deferred. Thank you for coming, all of you. Yeah. Okay, next item is number 11. The 11 is 350 to 396 Queens Quay West, to convert the existing commercial space, which is located on the ground and second floors, and into a hotel use, and to expand the permitted hotel use areas, which is on the second floor, also to alter the existing building, municipal known as 396, by constructing a level shaft on the roof area. We receive a survey site plan, floor plan elevations, decision affecting the property, and also OMB decision, arborist report, and also material, a presentation material from the agent. We also receive a letter of concern from 390 Queen Key West and an opposition from, no, there's no address provided, but it's someone called Key JJ.
Through you, Madam Chair, the agent is here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay, thank you. So we are ready.
Madam Chair, committee members, my name is Alex Avenue. I am a senior associate and planner with Bellsfield's, agent for the application at 350 to 396 Queens Key West. I actually have a presentation. Is it possible to pull it up, please?
Yes, because although they haven't registered to speak, but you do have a couple of one letter of concern and one letter of opposition. You should address those, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the letter of opposition, but I'll try to pull it up on the AIC. But I'll just go through my presentation in any case.
Yeah, maybe that will answer the oppositions.
Of course.
Yeah,
So first off, we have worked with city planning prior to even making the application and understand that they do have no issues. We also submitted our planning rationale letter describing how the application meets the 4 tests. So I will keep this high level. Right here, you're seeing the site. So just moving from right to left, 350 is a built rental building. 370 in the middle there is under construction. 390 is also a built rental building. And 396, you see north and south, that's it's got retail on the ground floor, and it's like a 4 or 5 story parking structure. If we go to the next slide, please. So this is a rendering of what this site will look like. There is a long history of planning approvals, but what's most relevant to this application is a bylaw 493/2024 that was approved at council last year. And what that bylaw did essentially was permit the construction of the building on the left that's going to replace the parking garage, as well as some interior and exterior alterations to 390, which is the one that exists right to the right, and then also some renovations to 350, which is on the far right. And what this will do, it will facilitate 251 new rental dwelling units, as well as 43 new hotel units. And this is important because this application is about those hotel units. So when we went through the rezoning over the past few years, something that made its way into the bylaw was this permission for hotel uses on the site. And those hotel uses had to be functionally separate than residential uses. So the bylaw, which I'll get into briefly in a second, has specific areas that are identified where you can have hotel uses on the site. And the purpose of that was to prevent land use compatibility issues with residential. Like, you don't want a hotel unit to be across a corridor from a residential unit. So we had hatched out those areas where hotel uses are permitted, and that is within floors 2 to 6 of the building on the far left-hand side, the second floor of the second building from the left-hand side, which is 390, and since the bylaw was approved last year, the owner wanted to expand the hotel permissions. And that's really what we're here today. The second floor of 350, again on the right-hand side, we're proposing to convert a portion of the second floor from residential to hotel to accommodate 11 hotel suites. And that would result in about 700 square meters of GFA, changing from approved residential to hotel. The next slide, please. This is the map that's going to facilitate that change. You can see the hatched areas on the map. One of the changes, so this is a map, of course, that's included in the site-specific bylaw, and you can see in the bottom right corner, we have areas that are proposed to be hotel that, again, are functionally separate from any residential. The next slide, please. This is the revised map 3. So this is, Madam Chair, what you mentioned about this exit stair and vent shaft. So this is just a change to this height map to prevent that little minor portion in red that you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. It's just to permit that the height of that projection. Super minor, super technical in nature, and just something that's come up since the bylaw was approved through detailed design. The next slide, please. And then this is our last variance for the number of 2 and 3 bedroom units. Because we've converted or proposing to convert this area of residential to hotel, we have reduced the amount of units in the building by 8. And there are minimum requirements for 2 and 3 bedroom units that are not a ratio, they are hard numbers, which we are reducing the amount of 3 bedroom units by 2 from 390 to 388, and from 2 bedroom, or sorry, that was 2 bedroom units, and then 3 bedroom units from 72 to 70. Overall, we still have 41.6% of the total units in the building, 2 and 3 bedroom. And that's it for the variances. Again, thank you for your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, yeah. Please, yeah, go ahead. You have.
That was very helpful in explaining what's going on here. So basically, what we're looking at today is converting some part of the second floor of 350 Queens Quay and a little bit of the first floor to the hotel, right?
Correct.
And is that going to be like fully separated from any residential? I mean, at the moment, those are residential units, I take it?
Those units right now are actually office.
Oh, okay.
Through our rezoning application, we were converting them to residential.
Right.
And now we're actually making them a hotel. Okay. So they're not residential currently.
Okay.
So yeah,
they have office space.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're already functionally separate from any residential.
Correct. Correct. And through this process, we have worked with staff to ensure that they are absolutely functionally separate, as is required by the bylaw. Like our site-specific bylaw specifically says in it that they have to be functionally separate. So if they weren't, we would be here to change that language, which we're not. So that's they are functionally separate, yes.
Okay. No, it's helpful to know that those were offices before. And is all the hotel units part of the same kind of hotel system, and people just go to different buildings?
Correct. Yeah. So any hotel user on this portion will have access to the hotel amenities, which are in the other buildings.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much. That's helpful.
Yes. Okay, please. Yeah.
Just understand it more clearly. Some of the units at 350 being converted into hotel units, right?
Correct, in the second floor, yeah.
Okay, and does include the 390 as well?
Yeah. 390 is already hotel. Yeah, 390 is, there's a portion of, sorry, and it gets a little bit confusing, but yes, there's a portion of 390 where hotel is permitted, which was done through the zoning bylaw that we got approved last year. I think what you're referencing is the fact that, and I didn't specifically touch on it, but the map that shows the area of 390 where you can have the hotel, we made slight changes to it because we noticed that the hatched area was a little bit incorrect. So we just slightly expanded it by, a meter or two. Yeah, if you go down and zoom in on this. Yeah. So those hatched area at 390 was slightly revised only because we noticed after the fact that the hotel area that we were showing on the architectural plans didn't quite match with the previous map that showed this. So we've updated this map to accurately or more accurately reflect the areas that the hotel will be in for 390 and 396. So again, the main portion of this is about permitting the hotel use in the second floor of 350 on the right-hand side of the screen, but we just made tiny little tweaks to the hatched areas you see on the left-hand side of the screen, just to be accurate with the architectural plans, which were the basis of the zoning approval at council last year.
All right. So I like to, it's not a question, but maybe a comment. Since you haven't seen the letter of position, although it doesn't have an address, we have it in our supplemental materials.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the AIC.
Maybe the staff can bring it up just very briefly, but what I will say that all the concerns seems to be much broader concerns about the overall waterfront development. So I haven't seen something that very specific for your variances addressing. So I just want to mention because since it's our position, we have to note that we have received it. And maybe you can take a very quick look and then see whether you can respond to some of the concerns. But
it's not on the AIC.
It's on the screen. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It came at the supplemental in our supplemental materials.
So then I wouldn't have seen it then because it wasn't sent to us, and I believe if it's not submitted by a certain date, it's not. Oh, this is it right here. Oh,
yes.
I'll read it. If you can zoom in, please.
Just very quickly because I don't think we want to spend a lot of time for you to finish reading the whole thing.
Okay, so numerous critical impact to the community. Consider permanent damage to Toronto's support. Yeah, that sounds like something that would perhaps be tied to, I don't know, I'm seeing comments related to irreversible damage to Toronto's important waterfront. I mean, maybe it has something to do with construction. Again, like this is a development that has been through city review numerous times, and of course
exactly,
has been approved.
We can't really spend so much time talking that issues that not really specific on this application. So
Correct.
I just want to mention that. So
Understood.
Any other questions? Okay, so please, yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair. I have a question regarding the Tower 350 Queensway West. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've understood that on the second floor, portion of the units will be converted to hotel. On the variance number 1, the first one, it said that in this case, the hotel use will be located on the first floor, and then it said on the second floor. In your presentation, you only mentioned second floor, so which one is correct?
Yeah, so the reference to the first floor is only because that's where the lobby is. There's no units, there's no hotel units on the first floor. They're completely on the second floor. The only thing that's on the first floor, it's funny you mentioned that because it's something that we added a little bit later on in the process, because we noticed that the lobby for the hotel where they would come in is of course on the first floor. So it's only in reference to the lobby. There's nothing else. I think it's like a 75 square meter lobby.
Square meter, correct.
Yeah.
So that's thank you for clarification. And then can I, through you, Madam Chair, can I ask Madam Secretary Treasurer a question now? So in terms of clarifying this, can we add the first floor lobby? Can we add the lobby to that variance, or we will leave it as it is? So if you look at the variance number 1, the second paragraph said, in this case, the hotel use will be located on the first floor of 350 to the maximum of 75 square meter and the second floor of 350 as shown on revised map 5. So is it possible that we add the first floor lobby in that sentence, or it's not necessary?
Through you, Madam Chair, I'm just looking at the purpose of application. We could add it there and to expand the permitted hotel use areas. We could say the first floor lobby and on the second level. So we can make the change there. So the first floor lobby at 350 and then the second level at 390. Would that work okay to the applicant?
Can you repeat it one more time,
So,
please?
the purpose of application speaks to expanding the hotel use areas. So we can note it there, the lobby on the first level at 350.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
That will not change.
Yeah, that doesn't, we have no issues with that. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. And we'll just amend the purpose clause. Yeah.
And then, sorry, we add the lobby because on the tower 350, we have lobby in the ground floor and also a hotel on the second floor. So with adding that, it also covers that too, right?
Well, the second floor is at 390.
No, on both, as far as I understood, but we can clarify. I understood that in both 350 and 390, there will be some hotel units.
So the variance number 1 reads the hotel use on the first floor and second floor, and then the hotel use on the second floor at 390.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now just if you want to add that a particular sentence in the purpose
we can
of...
amend the purpose of application to reflect variance number 1,
Whichever you
which
suggest.
shows first floor lobby and second floor at 350, and then only second floor at 390.
Okay, thank you for your recommendation.
And so you said that would be in the purpose section?
Yeah, just...
We're able to make that change because it's already identified under variance number 1.
Yeah.
So it's not like we haven't given proper notification, just to clarify.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Any other questions? Yeah, okay, you guys? No, any other questions? Okay, we are in committee now. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, anyone want to start? Oh, you have questions?
Before we do, I think, the way I'm reading the plans is that the hotel lobby is in 396, no? On the southwest corner of the building?
Okay.
Is that right? I think can we come out of committee?
Yeah, we come out of committee and ask this question, clarify this.
I just don't want us to insert some language that's going to complicate your, the hotel lobby is at the very southwest portion of the site, right, in 396?
But there is, for the east portion of the site at 350, there is another
one.
lobby,
Okay.
which is why, like, variance 1 mentions with a maximum of 75 square meters on the first floor, because that 75 square meters is the size of that lobby.
Right.
Yes, there are other lobbies on the other side, but
For the purposes of this application, you're satisfied with the language that it's good for you?
yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Are we still making that revision?
I think the revisions that Nazila and Sabrina went through, it makes sense to me.
Okay, so are we back into committee? All right, please, Peter, go ahead, since you make the last...
I'm going to pass it to Nazila. I think she had a lot of thoughts on this one.
Through you, Madam Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve the amended purpose of the application with no other condition.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think it's, yeah, Peter second. All in favor of the amended clause, purpose clause? All in favor, as approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, item number 12 is 155 GLEN CEDAR Road. This is to construct a new three-story detached dwelling with an integral garage and a widened driveway, a partial converted front porch with stairs, and a front architectural feature, and a rear ground floor covered porch, a rear stone terrace at grade with a hot tub, and then a rear basement walkout with a lower terrace, and a rear second and floor Juliet balcony, and a third floor balcony. And on this, we have received survey site plan and elevations, floor plans and elevations, copy of the revised site plan, floor plan, and elevations, and 3 photographs of the property, and cover letter from the agent, arborist report, and presentation material from the agent. We received comment from transportation engineering, a staff report from urban forestry, and also from transportation services. We also received a Metrolink advisory comment, and we received support. 2 forms of letter from 129 and 131 Ava Road.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay. Thank you.
Alexander, you've been unmuted.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and panel members. Alexander Overholt here, calling from Contempo Studio, located at 1140 the Queensway, Etobicoke. I'm here today to represent our minor variance application for 155 Glen Cedar Road. Okay. Thank you for describing all the documents we have submitted. I will make note that there has been a revised drawing submitted. I just want to make it clear that these drawings were submitted in order to meet the concerns that the transportation provided, which reduces our driveway entrance to the maximum 3 meters.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Let me see whether we need a further presentation from the panel, or do.
Of course.
They do not need. Yeah, we have read the all the materials. Do you have any questions? Yes, we have some questions for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great that you followed the transportation conditions with the new plans. I'm sure you'll be okay with if we include those conditions in the approval.
Of course, yes.
But it does raise the question, why even in the private section is the driveway so wide?
In the private, well, it just comes down to, we have a single car garage with the owner possessing multiple vehicles. So having the enlarged width of a driveway in front of the private owned area just allows for the ability to park their cars within close proximity to the dwelling.
So the idea is it might be 1 car in the garage and 1 car outside the garage?
Exactly. Ideally, in the perfect situation, is that the 1 car parks to the far right, which allows for the car in the garage to pull out effortlessly.
Right. And it's all in private space, so that's okay. Okay, thanks. That's very helpful.
That's correct. Right, no problem.
And so those changes are on the revised site plan, right? You said.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So we have to type. It's the supplemental.
Through you, Madam Chair, just to confirm to the applicant, no changes are being made to the variances that are being requested?
That is correct. The variances remain as is.
Including the driveway width? No.
The driveway width on the private owned area is still the same. Transportation recommend us to reduce the area within the public right-of-way. So the entrance and the curb cut was a maximum of 3 meters.
Yeah, and yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, and then it come back to the same with which is in variance number 2, right? That's it. Yeah.
Correct. Just to allow some parking space.
Yeah, got that. All right. Yes, Ms. Wilbur.
About the front yard setback, and do I understand correctly that the variance number, it triggers variance number 3 because of the, because of the structure, right? So you have a pilaster, right? The entrance. So that's the reason for the, for variances for the front yard setback?
The pilaster in the front, or as the architectural feature we call it, that is a variance number 6, right? But the front yard setback variance, if you look at how the frontage or the front property line is drawn, it's on quite the angle, right? So if you refer to page number 5 in our presentation, you'll see that only a portion of our building actually encroaches into the front yard setback. Next page. Right here. So you see that area highlighted in red? This is because due to the natural geometry of the property line. And we even tried to push the garage back a little bit, and we're still encroaching, unfortunately. It's only a small portion.
Okay, so this setback is only because of that, like triangle, right?
Exactly. The area highlighted in red.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we don't have any more questions now. We're in committee. Okay, so yeah. All right. Yeah, please, Mr.
I was just going to say, I don't love the wide driveway, but I think it does help that transportation has asked them to narrow it on the public portion. So I think really there's no significant impact. So I don't think it's. I think it's supportable.
Should we title the site plan, the revised site plan, right? Because the reduction is only at the curb.
I think that makes sense.
It makes
I think that that change that they made makes this a lot more palatable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
So we can do the transportation commission and tie it to the revised site plan.
The revised site plan, yeah. Okay, and any other comments, or we have a second?
There's also forestry 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Do you want me to do them?
Condition 2 and 3.
Do you want me to do a
yeah, please,
motion?
yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve this. I mean, overall, it's minor and doesn't have a strong impact. It's definitely mitigated by the transportation condition and the revised plans. So I move that we approve these variances with forestry conditions 2 and 3, with the transportation condition included, and by tying it to the revised site plan.
Okay. All right. Any comments, or we have a second? Yeah, Ms. Wolpert, second. Okay. All in favor with the condition? All in favor with the condition? Yeah. Approved unanimously. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Item number 13 is number 1 Mount Pleasant Road. This is to permit the replacement of 4 new mechanical units. And they're asking for 1 variance. And on this, we have received a survey site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 6 photographs of the property, and also a site-specific bylaw. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online. Everybody else on our registered speakers list, I believe, is part of the agent's team.
Okay.
And they can just confirm that. So we'll unmute the agent.
Hi, Jonathan Masasi here. Address is at 3 Bradwick Drive, Concord, Ontario. All the registered agents that are speaking today are part of our project team.
Okay, thank you. I just have one quick question. These are existing units that you're going to replace them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the question is, the existing ones, the new ones are bigger or taller, or that's why you need the variance, or what?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, okay. That's my question. You answered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are they better because they're bigger?
It's for the new space. The load required is just greater, so we're going to need slightly larger units. And the rooftop is already crowded, so our options, our alternate options are very limited. So our only real option is to replace the current units with slightly larger units that can handle the new load.
Yes. So will the people, those windows will be obscure more or just insignificant? Yes.
Yeah, insignificant.
Okay. Right. Any other questions? Okay, we do not have any more questions, and then there are no other registered speaker want to speak. So, right? So we are in committee now. Let's go.
Chair, I'm happy to move this. This is a very minor variance that's being requested, and it's really just increasing the height of these marginally and won't even be seen from the street. So I can see no negative impact. The only impact is to the light of the existing building, but that's the...
I asked.
Yeah, but that's their building. So I move approval without condition.
Anyone want to second that? Ms. Wilbur, second. All in favor with no conditions? You dissent? Yes. Oh, okay. Ms. West dissent. It's 4-1 approved. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next item is 14, is 57 SOUDAN Avenue. This is, the purpose for this application is to permit the continued use on site as a dental office, as well as the permit to convert the conversion of a second floor of the building into additional dentist office space. They're seeking 2 variances. And on this one, we have received a survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 4 photographs, and also a cover letter from the agent, arborist report, and presentation material from the agent. And we received Metrolink advisory comments.
Through you, Madam Chair, the agent is here in person. No registered speakers for this item.
Okay, so let's please introduce yourself, and we are ready. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is David Hun. I'm a planner and partner at Bellsfields Inc., and we are the agent for the applicant.
Okay.
My address is 3 Church Street, Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah. Since you do not have any oppositions, do we have any question to this speaker? Yes, we do have some questions. Go ahead, yeah, please. Yeah. I don't think we need a presentation, so let's go into questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so as a result of this, the second floor conversion into the clinic, does it mean there won't be any residential use for this building?
That's correct.
Yes?
That's correct, yes.
I just want to know, maybe it is a lawful non-conforming use, right?
That's correct.
So because you want to expand the use to the second floor, then you need to come to us. Otherwise, you don't need to come to the community adjustment. Is that right? Because it's already it's the same use.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the triggering of the expansion that's really kind of created 2 variances as a result of that.
Yeah, I see. So the current the current use second floor. What is it now?
It previously was residential used by the previous owner, who was a dentist and would use that as a place, for their own. But it was also, it's a bit of a mishmash. I believe that some of the space was used for staff purposes as well, but it was used for the previous owner. So, that was the condition now. The new owner now is just simply looking to move their practice into this building and expand into the second floor, which would remove, I believe there was 1 residential unit up on the second floor.
Oh, okay. Would that trigger any kind of other variance when you remove a residential unit? No way.
No, we did a zoning review as part of this, and the variances are reflected through that.
I guess sometimes, yeah, please, yeah.
How far are you from Yonge Street?
From Yonge Street, I believe we are a 2-minute walk to Yonge Street.
In the 100 meters?
Yeah, something like that. We're very close to the subway's entrance as well, the southern entrance of the station.
All right. So, any other questions? Okay, we don't have any more questions, so we're in committee. Let's discuss this. Yeah, yes, please move over. Yeah. That's fine.
Go ahead. Generally, I would be concerned about, converting the whole building in the residential area, into commercial. right? Because in this new form, this building won't have any residential unit, and we are in the residential area. Having said that, it's really close to a major hub,
Yes.
Wall Street, Eglinton. So I think the specific location of this house kind of, suggests that we could, allow for those variances. So I would support.
I share part of some of the concept. I asked whether it's a continued use. If it's a brand new, it's already a non-conforming use, so it is a continuum. So I have a little bit concern on removing a residential unit, but then since that he already confirmed that they have gone through review and then you don't need to meet any other requirement or restrictions removing that unit, so I'm fine. I'm in support.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Moving motion to approve this application. I don't see any conditions, and that's it, just without conditions.
Yeah, second, didn't second, all in favor with no conditions. All in favor, approved unanimously. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the chair.
And I think the last item for this time period is number 15, 31 Parkview Hill Crescent. The purpose for this application is to construct a new two-story detached dwelling with a covered front porch with stairs and a front below-grade integral garage and a rear covered ground floor patio and a rear covered basement walkout and a rear second-story balcony, and also constructing a one-story auxiliary cabana in the back in the rear yard. They are seeking for 10 variances. On this, we received survey site plans, floor plans, elevations, and revised site plan, and a red line public notice. 2 photographs of the property and a cover letter from agent, arborist report, and a presentation material from the agent. Comment we have received from community planning, also from within natural feature protection, and also from development engineering. We have support from 2933 Parkview Hill Crescent.
Through you, Madam Chair, the agent is here in person. No registered speakers for this item.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
My name is Felix Lightyear from 33.
Can you hear? Is your mic on? I have a little.
Okay. Good morning, Madam Chair and panel members. My name is Felix Lightyear from 33 Fernwood Park Avenue. I'm here on behalf of the owner.
Yes. So you don't have any oppositions here. So maybe see whether they require a presentation. Do you like to? Yeah, a brief presentation we'll do. Yeah, we will need. Yeah, we would like to have one. Yeah.
Should we first address the red line notice?
Yes, please go through that first, and then don't count the time yet. Let him go through the revisions first. Yeah.
Okay. As a result of the consultation of planning staff and the next door neighbors, we improved the variances a little bit. That reflects to variance number 7, the side yard setback to the western side. It states in the notice south side, but that's actually the west side to the right. That is removed completely, and as a result, in variance 8, the last part also referring to the west side is removed. And then the variance number 10, which referred to the platform and the setback to the south, is completely removed. And 9 variances left.
Okay. So we got all that recorded, right? Okay, thank you. Now you can start your 5-minute presentation, please.
So the proposal is for a 2-story home with an extended basement, which projects beyond what is above grade. The proposal is located on 31 Parkview Hill Crescent On a deep ravine lot, the south-facing 424 feet depth, that's roughly 130 feet. There is quite a bit of development happening in the area. A lot of existing homes are getting demolished and rebuilt as two-story homes, or major additions getting built. We've been in contact with TRCA from the beginning of our planning process, as well as during the planning process of the neighbors and community planning. We worked with our neighbors and listened to their concerns, and the neighbor to the west had some concern with a reduced side yard setback, so therefore we revised the proposal, increased that side yard setback. And the owner of that property, that's 33 Parkview Hill Crescent, as well as the one at 29, submitted a letter in support of our application. Community planning staff also didn't have any objections, as well as TRCA had no objections to the proposal. In regards to the specific variances, variance 1 proposes a below-grade garage, which is quite common in the area. We submitted plenty of photos. I think it's about 10 properties in less than 5-minute walking distance, which all have below-grade garages. Variants 2 and 3 are in regards to the building height. The building height is in the variance proposed of 11.33 meters, but the actually peak of the roof is at 9.99 meters above established grade. The 11.33 meters is only to an architectural feature in the front of the building. We originally had this architectural feature in the back as well, but after discussions with the neighbors, we deleted that. That is in relation to variance 2 and number 3. Then variance 4 relates to the entrance of the pool cabana, which is at a height slightly higher than permitted in the bylaw. That's due to the site conditions and the slope on site. Variants 5 and 6 relate to building length and building depth, which reads, including the basement extension, which pushes 11 meters deeper into the lot than the actual house. And also the house itself is set back from the street further back than required to align more or less with the number 33 and allow for a more gradual decline into the below-grade garage. Similar building lengths have been approved in the neighborhood several times in the past. With our submission, there's a list of approved variances in terms of length and depth, which show that. Regarding variance number 7 and 8, which relate to the side yard setbacks, as I mentioned, the variance on the western side was eliminated. Now it's only on the eastern side, which is proposed at 0.61 meters, where 1.2 meters is required. These kind of reduced setbacks are also common in the neighborhood. For example, the neighbor to the east has currently a setback of 0.54 meters. And then the last variance, variance number 9, is basically the deck on top of the basement extension, which due to the sloping grade, which is sloping from east to west as well as from north to south, comes out at a higher point above grade than permitted in the bylaw. That would be the end of my presentation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, any questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, the city is discouraging slope driveways. I'm just wondering why you felt it was appropriate for, I mean, aside from the fact that there are existing ones, which, you know, may have been before the city started doing that, is there specific reasons why you felt that it was necessary to do a slope driveway in this case as opposed to a straight?
they basically, besides that they existing, the 2 points, in our opinion, it allows us to develop a facade which is not interrupted by the garage door. That's one point which I think improves the proposal quite a bit, opposite if we would have like half the house as a garage door. And the other way is for the owner themselves, they can use that area as main floor space, while if the garage would be located on the main story, it more or less blocks half of the house facing the street. These are two reasons why.
And I mean, it seems like it's not too extreme a slope, is that correct? Like, in terms of the depth of the slope?
Yeah. So the slope is less than 2 feet depth, and the slope is less than the 8% maximum allowed slope.
Right, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, please, yeah, go ahead.
With regards to variances of the length and depth, I understand, as you mentioned, 11 meters, of that is because of the volleyball court or basketball court in the basement. So is it correct to assume that without that, basement extension, the dwelling would be, let's say, I think we are talking about 24 or 23 meters, right, in length, and probably 28 in depth, right, which is still far beyond the permitted length. Can you comment on that?
Yeah. So the lot is south-facing. That's one reason why. It's about the length is usually limited in order to reduce the impact on the neighboring properties and the shading impact. So all the lots on the side of the street are very deep and south-facing. Therefore, is the impact on the neighboring properties reduced? And yeah, there are also similar proposals, like for example at 35 Parkview Hill, I think was permitted with 26 meters length, 26.5 if I remember that correctly. That's 2 houses down a few years ago. And we were in contact with planning staff who didn't have any issue with that because of the size of the property as well as both neighbors, which would be impacted by the depth and length. They also didn't have any issue.
Mm-hmm. Did you consult with your neighbors to the right?
Yes, they submitted a letter in support.
And they're okay with that because you are significantly deeper than their properties.
Yeah, they are aware of that, but they supported the proposal.
Any other questions? Yes, please, go ahead.
To you, Madam Chair. Have you had a chance to read the city staff report dated 2nd of April? They suggested that we tie it to the site plan and all the elevations.
Yeah, that was actually our suggestion when we discussed the proposal first.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, any more questions? Okay, we don't have any more questions now. We are in committee. Yeah, I agree with his explanation about the extended length or depth, because it's even from the stable top of bank, it's quite far away. It's not just this very long lots, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to agree. Normally, I would certainly have concerns about the length, but it's a really, really deep lot. And as the proponent pointed out, it's south-facing.
South-facing, yeah.
So, and I appreciate that you worked with the neighbors and came up with agreements and modified the plans to suit the neighbors. I think that's a significant point as well.
Yeah, and any more comment? Yes.
I just want to bring our attention to the fact that there is TRCA permit required here.
Yes, and also there's
there is a
condition.
Forestry, right? But there is no permit from the TRCA yet.
Yeah. But the TRCA, they don't really care. You have to have one. eventually, even if we don't have to make a condition on that, they have to go through that, yeah. So anyone want to make a motion, please? Ms. West, yes.
To you, Madam Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve the amended application, which the variance number 7, 8, and 10 have been eliminated, and also subjected to urban forestry condition number 1, and also subjected to to city staff report, and the one condition that they suggested, dated of this report is April 2nd, 2025, that the development be constructed substantially in accordance with the drawing, with the site plan, east elevation, west elevation, south elevation, north elevation, from the plans received by the Committee of Adjustment on April 1st, to secure the building length, depth, height, and west side yard setback. So I think I just put all the conditions. That's the motion.
Yes. So the forestry condition 1 is actually equivalent to in the letter is the within natural feature protection is condition 1 they have. That is one you mentioned. Okay.
Yes.
That's
I mentioned number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, and just for clarification, variances numbers 7 and 8 are modified, not removed, just variance number 10 is removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry for that.
Yes, please. Okay, Mr. Dillon, wait second. Let me get this. Dillon second. With all this condition and amended agenda, all in favor? All in favor? Approved. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I think we concluded our morning sessions, and then when should we?
Through you, Madam Chair, we're reconvening at 2 p.m. Thank you.
2 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. You can turn.